Yes, I didn't see him. What are you looking so sad about, Jeff?
I'm surprised. I mean, I'm really insulted. That's not right, what you just said.
What do you mean, what I just said?
I mean, I'm getting a drink of water. I'm late getting home, but you talking. I said something about the greatest heavyweight champ, man. I'm a hometown man, and you talking about Joe Louis, man. Joe Louis wouldn't be nothing for me. Joe, I tell you, Joe, do you think you would have stood a chance with me?
Well, wait, one time during my career, I was on a Formula One tour.
I would have been a bum compared to you.
What's happening, my people? It's Cast Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. That's right. You know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Box Storian bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. Salute to Miss Cass. Without her, none of this would be possible. Salute to everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cast Sports, the Box Storian. Today, highlights of boxing history. Has the family today. More highlights of boxing history today. We'll look at a few different things again. We're going to look at, of course, the fighters of the day. We're going to look at some of the fighters with the quickest hands in boxing history. Hand speed. We're going to look at some boxers, some of the greatest boxers once again. Haven't looked at this, refresher on this. Some of the greatest boxers who never won a world title. Okay? And some more boxing records that will never be broken. And then we got a few fighters from the 1900-1910 decade we're going to profile at the end. We're going to do that each day, profile a couple of old fighters. None of the bigger names are just some good fighters from that decade. All that today on Cast Sports, the Box Storian, bringing you all that boxing history. got some good fights coming up in the weeks ahead. Let's take a quick look before we get to the fight of the day. Of course, this weekend, Carlos Adames in there. It's Ammo Williams. This might be Ammo's last shot. Father Time has caught the airport, wherever Ammo lives at, and probably be knocking on his door like early Sunday morning after the fight Saturday. You know, I look foolish if Ammo messes around and beat Adames Monday. But yeah, Carlos Adames versus Ammo Saturday. And then Michael Conlan in action, too, Saturday from Belfast, Northern Ireland. Conlan is fighting Kevin Walsh. Another card this weekend. And then we got a third one, too. We got also this weekend, Lester Martinez back in action after that barn burner he had against Billy last year, right? I wish they would have ran that back because they went deep in the pocket. They was way down at the bottom of the pocket, them two. And then a draw. And then, of course, next weekend is the big one. Sebastian Fundora and Keith Thurman. One time. The Towering Inferno versus One Time. Okay, that's next weekend. And then the week after that, also next weekend, is Moses Atama, the young British star back in action. They're expecting big things from him. Expecting another great British heavyweight going up against Jermaine Franklin Jr. this time. Willie Hutchinson, Ezra Taylor on that card. And then after that week, we got Deontay Wilder back in action against Derek Chisora, April 4th from London. Okay? Wilder Chisora. Denzel Bentley on the card. And got a nice women's fight from Carter's Wales, also that same weekend, Lauren Price. Defending her three belt unified WBC, IBF, and WBA welterweight titles against Pinheiro Aquino. So yeah, it could be good. So we got some good things coming up in the near future. Okay? So we got some good things coming up sooner than that today. Our fight of the day, and then we got a few different aspects of boxing history today we're going to get into. So let's first get into today's fight of the day. Get this thing kicked off. Get this party started. Right. Quickly. All right. But how's everybody? This is the Hump Day edition of Cass Sports, the Box Story, bringing you all that boxing history. But now, without further ado, today's fight of the day. Okay. Today's fight of the day is Donald Curry versus Lloyd Honeyghan. September 27th, 1986. Upset of the year. Okay. Ring Magazine, upset of the year. That was a big one. Let's get into it. Curry versus Honeyghan. And Mike Grimm is in the building, right at the beginning of the fight of the day. Salute Mike Grimm. Donald Curry versus Lloyd Honeyghan. Again, September 27th, 1986. Upset of the year. Was a good one. Not for Curry. It was a good one for Honeyghan. But salute Mike Grimm. Let's talk about this fight. More highlights of boxing history today, too. Talk about a few things. But the fight of the day first. The Donald Curry versus Lord Honeyghan fight was contested at the Caesars Atlantic City Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey, in which British challenger Lord Honeyghan stopped heavily favored American champion Donald Curry by 6-round technical knockout after Curry retired on his stool. Curry, nicknamed the Cobra, entered with an undefeated record of 25-0, including 20 by knockout, having recently dominated the division with victories over top contenders, positioning him as a potential all-time great. Honeyghan coming in as a 6-1 underdog, known as the Ragamuffin Man, controlled the action with aggressive pressure and power punching, bloodying Curry early and forcing the champion's corner to withdraw him due to a damaged eye and accumulated punishment. The fight stands as one of the most shocking upsets in modern boxing history, particularly for a British fighter prevailing in the United States against an unbeaten title holder, derailing Curry's trajectory toward super fights while launching Honeyghan's controversial reign as champion, marked by defensive fights and internal disputes. Okay, now let's look at a little background on these two fighters before we get to the fight. First, the Cobra, Donald Curry. Donald Curry's career leading up to his championship reign before he ran into Honeyghan. Now, Donald Curry turned pro in 1980 after an outstanding amateur career, compiling a reported record of over 400 amateur wins, which positioned him for rapid ascent in the welterweight division at the pro level. By 1986, Curry maintained an impeccable pro record of 25-0 with 20 knockouts, reflecting a knockout percentage over 80% that underscored his offensive potency against elite competition. Curry secured the WBA welterweight title on February 13, 1983 by defeating Jun Suk Hwang by unanimous decision after 15 rounds and was designated the inaugural IBF welterweight champion in 1984. His path to undisputed status culminated on December 6, 1985, when he unified the WBA, WBC, and IBF belts with a second-round knockout of reigning WBC champion Milton McCrory, a victory that affirmed Curry's technical superiority and power in high-stakes unification fights. Notable defenses included a knockout win over Eduardo Rodriguez on August 2nd, 1986, which extended his reign and highlighted his ability to dispatch durable contenders efficiently. Curry's style emphasized precise counterpunching, blending hand speed with two-handed power to exploit opponents' advances, while his defensive footwork and balance minimized damage taken, contributing to perceptions of near invincibility based on consistent stoppage rates and clean victories over top-ranked fighters. Okay, let's take a look at the Ragamuffin Man, Lord Honeyghan. Now, then we're going to get to the fight. Here's Honeyghan. Lord Honeyghan's path to contention. Here he's getting his hand raised in a victory on the way to contention. Lord Honeyghan, born on April 22nd, 1960 in Jamaica, emigrated to the United Kingdom at age 9 to join his parents in Bermondsey, London. He began boxing as an amateur at age 11 with the Fisher Amateur Boxing Club, representing England in fights, but without securing major national titles. Turning pro on December 8th, 1980, with a 6-round points decision over Mike Sullivan. Honeyghan compiled an undefeated record through physical conditioning and an aggressive brawling style that emphasized relentless pressure over refined technique. Honeyghan's early pro career focused on the British boxing scene, where he captured the vacant BBBFC British welterweight title on April 13th, 1983, by stopping Cliff Gilpin in the 9th round at the Royal Albert Hall. He defended this title successfully in a rematch against Gilpin in December 1983 by unanimous decision, building a record of consistent victories against domestic opponents like Sid Smith and Kevin Austin. These wins elevated him in European rankings, though American promoters largely overlooked him in favor of stateside contenders. Advancing further, Cunningham won the EBU European welterweight title on January 15, 1985, by defeating defending champion Gianfranco Rossi by 8th round stoppage in Perugia, Italy, showcasing his resilience in a hard-fought contest. He retained this belt while adding the British Commonwealth title against Sylvester Midas in November 1985. Entering 1986 with a 26-0 record, 14 by way of knockout, Cunningham solidified his contention by upsetting WBC #1 ranked contender Horst Schuffert by 8th round technical knockout on May 20th at Wembley Arena, a victory that propelled him to mandatory challenger status for Donald Curry's undisputed welterweight crown, despite his 27-0-15 knockout record drawing skepticism from U.S. audiences. This European-dominated path highlighted Cunningam's underdog trajectory, marked by gritty defenses and pressure fighting that defied expectations of polished welterweight artistry. So yeah, Cunningham got his title shot, but the U.S. promoters and the U.S. fans weren't expecting too much of him because he had mainly fought European competition, and no big names. That fight when he beat Schuffert was his first really big name, and Schuffert was the #1 contender, so they put him right there for a shot at Curry, but nobody really gave him a chance. Let's look at the round by round analysis of the fight now then. Curry versus Cunningham, upset of the year, by the way. Okay. The opening round on September 27th, 1986. In the round, Cunningham pressed forward aggressively with power shots from the belt, while Curry remained hesitant and listless, failing to mount significant counters. Cunningham's volume and forward momentum secured the round, despite few clean connections, because Curry basically did nothing. Just by being the aggressor, Cunningham secured round 1. Curry basically didn't do anything. Cunningham continued his assault in round 2, landing a lead right hand over Curry's guard that rocked the champion and buckled his knees, followed by hard body shots that drained Curry's energy and a looping right hand to close the round strongly. Cunningham's off to a very good start, a sign of things to come. Everybody like, uh-oh, thought this guy was like this huge underdog. Round 3 featured Cunningham's persistent bullying with body hooks, met by Curry's sharper response, including a left hook to the liver and a solid right hand to the head. They briefly staggered Cunningham. However, Cunningham countered effectively with a heavy left hook, maintaining overall control amid the close exchanges. Curry came alive a little, but Cunningham responded nicely. Curry showed improved jabbing and distance management in round 4, landing cleaner punches to slow Cunningham's advances, though Cunningham's body work began accumulating visible toll on Curry's midsection. The end is starting to come into sight, showing a toll on Curry. Early in round 5, Cunningham connected with a sharp left jab, straight right hand combination that wobbled Curry's legs severely, followed midway through the round by another jab lining right hand that deepened the champion's distress and highlighted Curry's emerging facial swelling. The sixth round saw a clash of heads open a deep cut above Curry's left eye, exacerbating his bloody mouth and apparent fatigue. Honeyghan capitalized with a right-left-right flurry that buckled Curry further before the bell, saved Curry, leaving the champion compromised. And Curry did not answer the bell for round 7. Sixth round TKO for Lord Honeyghan. Yup. Official scorecards after the 6th round reflected Honeyghan's edge with tallies of the time of stoppage, 59-56, 58-56 twice, all in favor of Honeyghan. And that was similar to the journalists at ringside unofficial scores. Yep, there you have it, the fight of the day. Huge upset of the year for 1986. Lord Honeyghan over the heavy favorite, undisputed welterweight champion, Donald Curry. All right, Technique in the building. Salute Technique. How are you today, my friend? Yeah, that was the fight of the day, that big upset, Honeyghan over Curry. That was a huge upset of the year, 1986. And today, more highlights of boxing history. We're going to look at a few different things today. Let's get ready to get started. Okay, we got, today, we're going to look at the fighters with the quickest hands in boxing history. We're going to start off with hand speed. Then we're going to look at some of the best boxers who never won a champion world title. And some boxing records that will never be broken again. And then I got some fighters we're going to profile from the 1900s to 1910 decade. But first, we're going to look at some of these hand speeds. Fighters with this great hand speed. Some of the quickest in boxing history. Okay? But how's everybody? This is the Hump Day edition of Cass Sports the Boxtorian, bringing you all that boxing history. Yep. Start out with some hand speed. More highlights of boxing history today on the Hump Day edition. Okay, let's get started. I keep having to refresh the chat to see people coming in. For some reason, this phone ain't changing by itself. I got to physically move it. I don't know what's going on with it. Okay, there we go. Yeah, all right. Let's go with this. Look at some of these some of the fastest handed fighters ever in the history of the sport. There's 2 of them right there. How did I get that? I went backwards. Honeyghan won the fight of today. Here's 2 of the fastest hands in boxing history right there. No, it ain't. Now I'm back to the thumbnail. Get it together, Cass. Oh my goodness. Bear with me for a minute, please, my friends. Okay, here we go. Get all the kinks out at the beginning. There we go. I don't know what's wrong with this equipment today. But here we go. There's 2 of the fastest hands in boxing history right there. Man. There they go. That's what I was trying to get. Floyd and Manning. We talked more hand speed today, and both of those had great hand speed. Both of those 2 warriors did. Yeah, and they're getting ready to fight again. Right? They gave us the first fight 5 years too late. Now they're giving us the rematch like 10 years too late. And they should have had the rematch they should have had the first fight 2009, 2010. But they had it in 2015. They should have had the rematch like 2015, 16. Now they're having the rematch in 2026. But hey, I'll watch it. We getting it. So it is what it is. You know? But some of the fighters, 25 fighters with the quickest hands in boxing history right now. Got a few different things today. Let's get started. Okay? The Manny Pacquiao is among an elite group of fast punchers who dazzles the eyes with firecracker fists that have missile chemtrails in their wake from the speed of them. Speed kills in boxing. Hand speed can be the difference between being beaten badly and being knocked in the next year. Time has proven that the best knockout punches are ones you never see coming. Greater hand speed. Oh, excuse me for a minute. Again, I got something. It's the last interruption. Here we go. Now, time has proven that the best knockout punches are ones you never see coming. Greater hand speed allows this awesome phenomenon to happen with greater frequency. So now, here are the 25 fighters with the quickest hands in boxing history. Some of them, anyway. Okay, we're going to start out with the Golden Boy, Oscar. Oscar had pretty decent hand speed. Oscar De La Hoya. Now, the Golden Boy may not be the fastest fighter on the planet, but he was very fast in his heyday. From his beatdown of Fernando Vargas to his close battles with the very quick Sugar Shane Mosley, Oscar could hang with speed when necessary. Okay? He had fierce flurries and big punches that helped him hang with some of the big speedsters of his day until they grew older and slower. Oscar. We're going to go back a ways. Billy Conn, talking about hand speed. Billy Conn almost beat the Brown Bomber, remember? Billy Conn was a slick Irish lad with enough ring smarts and tools, foot and hand speed, to confuse the best of his time, even the one and only Joe Louis. Conn almost had the fight won when he did the most unfortunate thing, tried to go for the knockout. All three judges had Conn ahead based on his outboxing of Louis for 12 rounds. Conn tried to stand in the pocket in front of Louis and overwhelm him with punches. Louis caught Conn in round 13 and put him to bed to retain his world heavyweight title. Yeah, but Conn was ahead on all the cards at the time. That would have been monumental. That would have changed history drastically. Wouldn't have had the 25-fight win streak or the entire decade being champion for Joe Louis. None of that would have happened. But Billy Conn almost did it for 12 rounds. Two bad fights with 15 rounds at that time, though. Al Booger in the building. I told you I got to change this thing manually to see people coming in. But Al Booger has arrived. What's up, Al Booger? More highlights of boxing history today. We're looking at hand speed now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was talking about how Billy Conn almost changed history. But almost. Fights would have been 12 rounds back then. He would have. He won the first 12, but it was 15. And he didn't make it out of 13. He got greedy. You know, he was beating Joe Louis, dominated him really, and Billy Conn said, I'm going for the knockout. I'm going to put an exclamation point on this thing. And an exclamation point was put on it, but it was only Louis that did it. We're talking about hand speed. How about Larry Holmes, the Eastern Assassin? That's him and Ernie Shavers right there. Ernie Shavers, the Black something, I forgot his nickname. The Black Messiah or something, I don't know. But that's Holmes and Shavers right there. Anybody know? Bruce Gaswood, he ain't in there. Now, Larry Holmes had a faster jab than Muhammad Ali. That's right, he did. When considering the prime of both men separately, Holmes had the better jab because Holmes was Ali's sparring partner, and he learned that jab from him, and then he perfected it and made it better, made his own better than Ali's. Mm-hmm. Now, maybe Holmes didn't have the better footwork, combinations, or anything else than Ali, or speed-wise over Ali, but he definitely has potentially the fastest jab in heavyweight history. Holmes used his jab in bursts of activity rather than quadruple jabbing his opponents, but he could bring some decently fast combinations as well. Larry Holmes. Little brief profiles about these fast boxers. We go back again to like the 40s, 50s. Ike Williams. It's Ike on the right. Look at his many fights with Bob Montgomery. Ike Williams had some fast hands. Former lightweight champion back then, when titles really meant something. 2 titles, 1 man in 8 weight divisions, 1 champion in each division. Champion was truly the king. Now, Ike Williams was a great lightweight with lightning fast jabs and combinations. His reign lasted from 1945 to 1951, 6 years of domination. Why? Hand speed, technique, power, and oh yeah, hand speed. Yeah, Ike was lightning fast. And he had power too. The Hawk, Aaron Pryor. Here's the Hawk. All right. Now, Pryor was a feared fighter in the 1970s and 1980s, and the greatest junior welterweight of all time. Pryor only stood 5'6" tall with a very small reach. Many of his opponents, including the legendary Alexis Arguello, were much taller with much longer arms and reach. That meant Pryor had to be that much faster to counteract his opponent's size advantages. Pryor had to beat their long arms to the punch, and often he did with enough power to produce one of the greatest knockout streaks in boxing history. The Hawk. Paulie Malignaggi had some fast hands. He didn't have much of anything else, but he had some fast hands. Paulie had a decent career. Paulie Malignaggi is called the Magic Man for a reason. At junior welterweight and welterweight, Paulie amazed his opponents with overwhelming speed and mid-fight mockery of their inability to return as flashy or impressive a combination as he could. His fists almost magically disappear from his side and reappear in his opponent's face. Now, though Paulie might not have the heavy-handed fists of a Roberto Duran to go with his speed, he more than made up for it with ring smarts and great combination punching and speed, of course. Paulie, the Magic Man. Next, Sweet Pea. Talk about some hand speed. Sweet Pea. Pernell Whitaker is known for making fools out of grown men with his evasive antics, but his counterpunching ability and overall hand speed was vastly underrated. At one point in a fight, Sweet Pea was backed into a corner. His opponent rushed him, and Sweet Pea hit the man with a looping right hand before moving to the left of the man and out the corner before the man could throw the first punch of what was supposed to be a vicious combination. Yet Sweet Pea went out the left door. Sweet Pea's hand speed is part of the reason he was able to give the legendary Julio Cesar Chavez so many troubles in the iconic fight in 1993. Sweet Pea. All right, hand speed. Some more hand speed. The Hands of Stone. Roberto Duran. Yeah, everything, his hand speed, his defensive prowess, all that was underrated because he was such an offensive fighter that all the other good attributes he had was underrated. He was a great defensive fighter. He had great footwork, hand speed, combinations, all that. But a lot of people remember him as a brawler and overlook all the other great things Roberto did in there. But he had great hand speed. Now, Roberto was a fast, heavy puncher in the lightweight division of the 1970s. He could take out anybody at lightweight or welterweight with only a few quick combinations. When Roberto stepped up in weight class to welterweight, his speed remained for the most part, as did his power. Took all his attributes up there with speed and power when he went up. So long as Sugar Ray Leonard went toe-to-toe with Duran, he remained befuddled by Duran's hand speed. And Duran only began to slow down in later years at middleweight and super middleweight, thanks to age and weight. But Duran still was fast enough, okay, to win titles up at those divisions. Slowed down a little, but he was still fast enough to win titles. The Macho Man. The Macho Man. There's Hector on the right. And then skirt is his legacy. He was the first one to come out there with that on. Hector Camacho. Only one back there at that time. Now every card got 1, 2, 3 people wearing the skirt. Hector Camacho was a beast with speed, even if he didn't exactly hit the hardest. His speed was dizzying with combinations being thrown in the ring. Now, though Sugar Ray Leonard was faded when they both fought each other, Hector was able to surprise Leonard in a result that became Leonard's last fight and the first stoppage of his career. It was by Hector and Sugar Ray's last fight. Prince Nassim. Now, I know I said he was overrated yesterday, the Prince, but he did have some fast hands. His hand speed wasn't overrated, okay? Definitely wasn't. The Prince Nassim. Now, Prince Nassim Hamed was an unfocused waste of talent, but he sure was entertaining to watch. His flamboyant style of clowning around in the ring is made possible by his unexpected hand speed and punching power. That's why he could get away with that stuff. Part of his punching power likely comes from the shots that literally come out of nowhere and dazzled both British and American crowds like no other at the time. The Prince. The Hitman. Motor City Cobra. Thomas Hearns. Yes. Now, Thomas Hearns just had unfair talent and advantages. He already was very tall for his weight class, 6'1" at welterweight, and had like a 78-inch reach. He had one of the most powerful punches, pound for pound, that one can find in boxing history, to go along with all those advantages, height, reach, and one of the best right hands ever in the business, okay? It seemed like it was almost unfair, especially at welterweight. But Hearns also had great hand speed to make things that much worse on his opponents. His hand speed made him the ultimate killer. One will have to stand and fight with Hearns as unlikely as victory seemed, because running away wasn't going to work against someone as big and tall as Hearns was, with that type of speed he produced, which is uncanny for someone his size. The Hitman. Then we got talking about hand speed, Super Judah. Yeah, I think that was a waste of talent too. Zab was. Zab still had a solid career, but he could have been so much better, I think. Yeah, so much better. I think he was the only man Floyd ever fought that had faster hands than Floyd did. Now, though not as talented as Mayweather, Zab had the distinction of being arguably faster, but his hand speed was not as expertly applied as Floyd's was. That was the difference. Now, had Zab applied himself and kept his wits during the toughest moments of his career, he would have likely fulfilled the now seemingly exaggerated stories of his vast potential. They were actually true when they were told, and Zab's power and hand speed were a big part of that potential. Yeah, but I don't think he reached his full potential. He still had a solid career. I think he recently went into the Hall of Fame, I think. Yeah. Zab, Super Judah. But what a waste of talent. Well, not a waste, but he didn't reach his full potential because he still had, like I said, had a solid career. Sergio Martinez. Sergio Martinez is possibly the fastest junior middleweight of all time. His dazzling, speedy combinations and exciting fighting style made him popular at the weight, and even more popular when he moved up to middleweight. No hand speed was sacrificed when he went up. Took all the speed with him. And he was able to make an even bigger impression of the world with such feats as his unexpected one-punch knockout of Paul Williams and his out-jabbing of expert jabber Sergey Dzingzeruk. You know what I'm talking about, Sergey. Yeah, he out-jabbed Sergey. Sergio did. I brutalized his name, so I'm gonna put it in there. This is the guy that Sergio Martinez out-jabbed the jabber. Sergey Dzingzeruk. Okay, let's move on. Talking about hand speed. Terrible Terry Norris. With the ball head. That looked like Winky. He's fighting. Winky Wright. Now, Terry Norris was getting rid of the leftover names of the 1980s by the beginning of the 1990s. Norris became a hunter in the ring, starving to carve out his own pathway to fame and fortune. Norris had the explosive hand speed, and he was a combination king. Norris was truly an underrated fighter at junior middleweight, who will hopefully never be forgotten. Turbo Terry. We talking about him today. Sugar Shane Mosley. Yeah, Sugar Shane had fast hands too. There's Sugar Shane on the right. That's the fight where they caught Antonio Margarito before the fight with the stuff in his hand wraps. And the Sugar Shane went out there and beat the brakes off of him. Sugar Shane was mad. You tried to cheat me, man. That's already a dangerous sport. You loading up your hand wraps. He beat the brakes off Margarito. Stopped it. Now, Shane Mosley dominated the lightweight division of the 1990s, using two things: great power and great speed. He was slick enough to get in, hit his opponent, and not be as touched up as the unfortunate soul who crossed paths with him. Okay? Get in and get out. Now, though he later moved up in weight at the turn of the century, he still remained fast, but aggressively got slower over time in the higher weight class. With age and weight, Sugar Shane became slower than the man he once was, but faster than most men ever will be. Slowed down, but still faster than a lot of fighters. Hand speed. The Will-O-the-Wisp, Willie Pep. The Will-O-the-Wisp, that's him and Sandy Sadler in their great rivalry. 4-fight series, we covered that one. Sadler won it 3-1, but that's misleading. It wasn't no dominating thing for Sadler. They were all good fights. Now, though the legendary featherweight is known as one of the greatest defensive fighters of all time, he's also one of the greatest counterpunchers of all time. He could easily catch a foe slipping and capitalize with smooth technique and blurring hand speed. That's to the face and back in time to be ready for the befuddled opponent's next attempt at an attack. Yeah, and the greatest defensive fighter of all time too, Willie Pep. Yes, he is. Talking about hand speed, Floyd got to be on there. Maybe should have been higher. He had number 8. Floyd Mayweather Jr. There's him and Canelo. Now, Mayweather, early in his career, threw magnificent combinations and dazzling hooks and uppercuts. Magnificent combinations and dazzling hooks and uppercuts out of nowhere to finish off the competition at the super featherweight division. Okay? Where he started at. Now, Floyd kept his speed for the most part throughout the lightweight and even junior welterweight divisions. But it is unknown whether he kept it, and it was unknown whether he was going to keep it in the welterweight division. as he moved up further. Now, Floyd adopted a style of countering his opponents more than actively engaging them in combat in the higher division, which made it harder to judge his speed. But upon realizing that he was depending on quick reflexes to catch his opponents with these counters while not getting hit himself, meant that his speed had to be uncanny. Muhammad Ali. Heavyweight had to speed up like a middleweight, welterweight. Now, Ali became a young champion because of his speed. He was fit, slim, and could move like a welterweight at the heavyweight level. Okay? When speaking of his hand speed, though, his well-timed jabs were not as fast as everyone claimed they were. The likes of Mike Tyson had generally faster hands than Ali, and Larry Holmes' jab beamed in on an opponent like a heat-seeking missile. While Ali is a rare speedster, it's more than likely his much slower competition that includes such behemoths as George Foreman and Sonny Liston, Ernie Shavers, made him look even faster than he really was. Yeah, fighting them big, slow heavyweights. He was fast, but, the competition kind of made him look a little bit faster than he really was, but he was fast. Okay, the Pac-Man, Manny Pacquiao. There's the Pac-Man. Talking about hand speed right now. Got a few other things too. Okay. Now, speed creates power by bringing an unexpected knockout punch into greater probability. Then Manny's fist should be labeled a weapon of mass destruction. His fists. Weapons of mass destruction. Usually fighters lose speed by gaining weight over time and moving up in weight divisions. Manny put on weight and won a record 8 world titles in as many weight divisions. And he not only lost any speed or power, but he gained speed and power as he moved up. McGraw Cotto, Oscar De La Hoya, Sugar Shane Mosley, and especially Ricky Hatton all felt the quickness of the Filipino warrior, and they didn't like what they felt. Sugar Shane Mosley ran for the first time in his career because he had no answers to Pacquiao's hand punches from awkward angles at such great speeds that he couldn't see the punches coming. Manny's greatest unseen knockout punch was against Ricky Hatton in round 2 in the junior welterweight division. It put the British man to sleep. Okay? Ricky will never forget that one. Floyd Patterson. Floyd was fast. And was a heavyweight too. Yeah. Started out as a middleweight in the amateurs. Now, Floyd Patterson is often, that's him and his son there. His son became a champion too. They were the first father-son champion combination in boxing history. Floyd and Tracy Hurst Patterson. Now, Floyd Patterson is often called the gentleman of boxing, but he can give one hell of a punch with the speed and intensity a world heavyweight champion to possess when things got tough in there. Patterson often made things tough on his opponents with such a good jab, great combinations, and great accuracy. Some say Floyd Patterson in his prime before 30 was even faster than Ali. Was that true? It's hard to say, but many people give Patterson the edge, thanks to his occasional speed combinations. Yeah, a lot of people say Floyd was faster than Ali. Meldrick Taylor. Yep, Meldrick. He might have been the fastest fighter of all time. Meldrick was quick. Yeah. TNT. The Meldrick Taylor shook the world up with a wonderful 24-fight win streak before that should have been his 25th victory against Julio Cesar Chavez in 1990. Should have been the 25th straight, right? Taylor's technique was superb, but was greatly enhanced by his out-of-this-world hand speed. He's about the fastest junior welterweight there is, or possibly ever will be. He might have been the fastest puncher of all time. Definitely fastest junior welterweight there ever was, or possibly ever will be, Meldrick Taylor. Sugar Ray Robinson, Mr. Pound for Pound himself, on him on hand speed. Here he is. I believe that was the St. Valentine's Day Massacre with him and Jake. I think that was the referee finally stopped it, but Jake said he stayed on his feet the entire fight. Nowadays, that would have been stopped. They let that go on far too long, but that was the sign of the times back then. Often called the greatest of all time, Sugar Ray Robinson possessed just about everything a fighter needed and more. He had beautiful footwork, power in both hands, and plenty of foot and hand speed. His hand speed allowed for some dynamic knockouts and likely helped Sugar Ray achieve his rare recognition of being one of the few to own over 100 knockout victories in his career. Yep, with all his other things that he accomplished in boxing, Floyd is also in the 100 knockout club. Yep. Well, one Sugar Ray might as well go to the other one. Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard. Probably got the distinction of throwing the most punches in a combination in history. Him or the Hawk. Sugar Ray probably got the record. He'd throw like a 10-15 punch combination before. Sugar Ray Leonard has some sweet moves. His furious flurries and neck-breaking combinations upstairs gave him not only knockouts, but beautiful moments of brutality. Leonard was an artist with two fists that brushed the canvas that was his opponent's face continuously. In his prime, Sugar Ray Leonard was borderline untouchable because to touch Leonard would mean one would have to survive his flashy onslaught of punches. Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson almost at the top of the list. Number 2. Hand speed. Yes. Iron Mike. I think that's Trevor Berwick getting caught with that straight right overhand right. Now, Iron Mike Tyson in his prime was a hard-hitting, explosive fighter with the ability to catch anybody off guard. He was 5'10" inches tall with a 71-inch reach in a world of tall heavyweights that could stand 6'4", 6'6", with 78 to 82-inch reaches. Always at a height and reach disadvantage. Iron Mike was a welterweight-sized man with heavyweight power and junior welterweight hand speed. Pound for pound, Mike Tyson is no doubt one of the fastest fighters in boxing history. No doubt. And number 1 on the hand speed list is Captain Hook, Roy Jones Jr. Number 1 on the hand speed list. Okay? Now, what can be said about Roy Jones' hand speed that hasn't been said already? He's a boxer who was able to showboat like no one else in the ring because of how fast he was. Roy Jones placed his hands behind him and still managed to jump out of that stance and knock a man down. Best of all, Jones kept his speed from middleweight to super middleweight to light heavyweight all the way to heavyweight. Took it up with him. And unfortunately brought it back down. For such a jump, Jones remained well intact speed-wise, making him one of the pound-for-pound fastest fighters ever. Okay, there you have it. Top 25 fastest hand speed in boxing history. Okay, let's look at some of the best boxers who never won world titles now. Did this like a couple of years ago. Just a little brief rendition of it. Got 13 boxers with the fastest hands. 13 greatest boxers that never won a title. Now, okay? That's what we're going to talk about for the second phase. And then we got some records that won't be broken and some fighters from the 1900 to 1910 decade. We're going to do the brief profiles on today. But first, 13 best boxers who never won a world title. I believe that's on the left, Dominique Razor Ruddock. And on the bottom, that's Andrew Golota. I can't place who that is at the top, but we'll find out in a minute. Let's talk about it though. Now, when it comes to the world of combat sports, the cream generally rises to the top. Stars such as Naoya Inoue and Canelo Alvarez become champions of not just one, but several weight classes. The legendary Manny Pacquiao became a champion in a staggering 8 divisions in his historic career. That being said, not every great boxer will become champion for various reasons. Over the long history of the sport of boxing, there have been some excellent fighters who never got their hands on a world title. These 10 men we get ready to talk about make the crack on the list as the absolute greatest to never do so. Okay. First, we got one of the former Kronk gym fighters, Oba Carr. I think Oba had a minor title or something. No, Oba didn't. I'm thinking about Hilmer Kenty. Hilmer Kenty was the first Kronk gym fighter to win a title, not the Hitman, Hilmer Kenty. I think Oba had like 3 shots, but he never made it. Talented welterweight, overshadowed by legends. Oba Carr. One of the great Emanuel Stewart's Kronk gym fighters. Now, Oba Carr, also known as Motor City, was a slick, skilled welterweight during one of the division's toughest eras. Unfortunately, his 3 title shots came against Hall of Fame opponents, all 3 of them. Felix Trinidad, Ike Corte, and Oscar De La Hoya. Carr was competitive in each fight, but couldn't quite break through to become champion. Despite that, his technique, speed, and ring IQ earned him respect among fans and fighters alike. Yeah, 3 title shots, all against Hall of Fame. It was, again, Oscar, Ike Corte, and Tito Trinidad. Yup. It was 3 tough Hall of Fame fighters. He gave up good fights, but he just couldn't get past either one of them to win the title. Fighters that never won a title, Yaki Laz. Great light heavyweight from the late 70s, 80s. 80s, the greatest decade of light heavyweights ever. That's why Yaki couldn't get a title. He fought in the light heavyweight division in the 80s. That was tough, man. Michael Spinks and Dwight Muhammad Qual. A few others. Matthew Franklin. A decade full of great heavyweights. Mike Rossman. The one that was in prison, James, what's his name? They used to go to the prison. I mean, the TV cameras, the announcers, fighters, everybody used to go into prison. This man was that good, okay? And if he hadn't been in prison, he probably would have won a title. He should be on this list. Forgot his name. Yeah, but he had to be a bad for him to come. But he was in there for murder, I think, so they wouldn't have tried to let him out. But yeah, he was ranked in the top 10 and everything in prison. Sugar Ray Leonard, Howard Cosell, all of them used to go in there and commentate on his fights. Now, Yaki Lopez fought in that era. Now, he was a warrior who fought everybody. That's Yaki on the left. Fought everybody. Yes, Oba Carr, his final record was 54-6 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw. Yaki Lopez had for his career 61 wins, 15 losses for the light heavyweight his entire career. Yaki did. Yaki Lopez is one of the most respected light heavyweights of the 1970s and 80s. He had 5 cracks at a world title against elite names like Victor Galindez, John Conte, and Matthew Saad Muhammad, but came up short each time, had 5 shots, but against all great light heavyweights of the 80s. Yaki was known for his relentless pressure and heart. Yaki gave fans several all-time great fights and is often referred to as one of the greatest action fighters never to wear a title belt around his waist. The great Yaki Lopez. Ike Abrabuki. Now, he didn't get a title because he was in the middle of his career like 20-0 and went to prison. He's out now. I think he started back fighting. But yeah, if he wouldn't have had that prison in the middle of his career, he would have definitely had a title. Ike would have. The president was a heavyweight boogeyman. He called himself the president. Heavyweight. And 20-0 record. 20-0 record when he went to prison. Yep. He would have definitely had a title. Right in the middle of his career. Ike Abrabuki seemed destined for superstardom. In the late 90s, he defeated 2 future stars, David Tua and Chris Bird, in dominant fashion. With a perfect 20-0 record and elite skills, he was viewed as a surefire, can't-miss future champion. However, Abrabuki's career was cut short after a series of mental health issues and legal troubles that led to his imprisonment. His potential was never fully realized, but many still believe he would have dominated the heavyweight division had he stayed active. And he was right around there with Lennox, Holyfield, and them. Yeah, he was right in that era, man, but never got to fight any of them before that prison thing happened to him. Yup. The Klitschko's was coming on the scene. Ike Abrabuki, what a waste. But he's out now. I heard somebody say he was back fighting. He's like almost 50, so he might not be 20-0 anymore. Might have more wins or might have lost that I don't know. But he was 20-0 when his career got cut short by that prison sentence. The best fighters that never won a title. Lucas Batiste. There's Lucas. Yeah, that might have been Lucas up on the thumbnail that I showed. Here I go messing around. The one I couldn't. Let's see. No, that ain't Lucas. We're gonna find out. Okay. Lucas Batiste. He won 39 wins and lost 5 for his career. 44 total fights. Now, it really doesn't feel like Lucas Batiste should be on this list, as he was generally considered one of the best at junior welterweight for an entire decade. But he never held an outright world title. Batiste did have a great career, however, and had title fights with the likes of Manny Pacquiao, Zab Judah, Danny Garcia, and more. This is one I couldn't believe. I thought, sure, this guy had a title. Razor Ruddock. I had to go back and look, but no. Razor never won a title. I don't even think he was ever in a title fight. Right? Razor Ruddock. Let's talk about it. Thomas Hill and Mike Masick. They got to keep refreshing this thing. We got Just Do Boxing, Mike Masick, and Thomas Hill that's entered the building. We talking about right now some fighters, some of the best fighters to never win a title today, gentlemen. We looked at hand speed first, and then we're going to look at some of the records that's not going to be broken. But salute Just Do Boxing, coming up at 4 p.m. Of course, with that balanced, unbiased boxing talk. Give everybody their just due. Thomas Hill in the building, and Mike Masick. All right. 3 heavyweights. Salute, gentlemen. Let's go. Had a brain lock. Yeah. Mazyck. Shouldn't have to look at the paper to spell Mike's name. Had a brain lock today, but I got it. Okay, let's continue. Some fighters. I don't know how Razor Ruddock is on this. I could have sworn I saw him win a title, but no. He never did. He fought Mike Tyson, but it wasn't a title fight. Now, Razor famously had a 2-fight series with Mike Tyson. And Razor, for the heavyweight, 40 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw for his career, 47 fights. Donovan Razor Ruddock is another name that just feels like he shouldn't be on this list. But yes, the heavyweight known for his feuds with the likes of Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis never held a world title in his career. Razor. He won several regional titles in his career and defeated former champions such as Michael Dokes, but Razor never won gold and never even had a crack at an actual world title. He won some minors and regionals, but never even was in a fight for one of the majors. You know, WBA, WBC, the IBF, and WBO, never even in a fight for one of those. Unbelievable. Great as he was. Gentleman Jerry Cooney. I don't think I have Jerry. Nope. I got Jerry Quarry. That's Jerry Quarry faces. He didn't win a title neither, but we talking about Jerry Cooney. That's Jerry Quarry. Right there. Facing the camera. Look like Larry Holmes. I never know he fought Larry Holmes. It looked like Larry, but no, I don't think so. It might be Jimmy. I think it's Jimmy Young. Yeah, but yeah. Jerry Quarry never had a title neither. He fought right in the middle of that greatest golden age of the heavyweights. But I got the wrong picture. I got Jerry Quarry. Yeah, but Jerry Cooney. Gentleman Jerry came up short in 2 title fights. Holmes and somebody else. Okay, see the other one. Heavyweight fighter. Jerry had 31 fights, won 28, lost 3. Had a pretty good knockout ratio too. Now the 80s wasn't exactly the deepest era of heavyweight boxing. That was what led to Jerry Cooney becoming one of the division stars. However, Gentleman Jerry did pick up some impressive wins in the early part of his run, demolishing aging fighters such as Ken Norton and Ron Lau. The Gentleman Jerry had a lot of power and a great heart, but he wasn't quite at the highest level of the sport. That's reflected in his 3 career losses to Larry Holmes, Michael Spinks, and George Foreman. Yeah, Michael Spinks was the other title shot. Yeah. Holmes and Spinks. And his 3rd loss was the Foreman. That was a vicious knockout. Remember that one? I think it was a cross and an uppercut. I don't remember which hand, but it was different. He got one hand, he got the cross, and then that uppercut just. Jerry was out before he hit the canvas, man. Referee didn't even have to count. That was vicious. Yep. Ernie Shavers. Of course, he fought in the golden age, too. That's why he didn't get a title. Any other era? This guy, we're not going to talk about him. Jerry Quarry would have had a title. And Ernie Shavers would have had a title. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he caught Larry Holmes there. Nobody knows how Larry Holmes got up from that one. But Larry got up and won the fight. Everybody thought the fight was over on that shot. You get caught like that by Ernie Shavers and get up from it, Hearns had a chin on him. Look how Shavers caught him. Now, that been a little bit lower, down around that chin, he wouldn't have got up. A little bit lower. Couldn't have got up from it. But even there, Ernie put most people out with that. Now, Ernie Shavers, he challenged for the title on 2 occasions. One time was against Ali. They both might have been against Ali. But heavyweight, of course. And Ernie had 91 fights in his career. He won 76, lost 14, and had 1 draw. Yeah, the Black Destroyer, that was his nickname. Remember, I was trying to figure out what I knew it was the Black something. That don't sound good, the Black something. Black Destroyer. Yeah. Ernie Shavers is considered to be arguably the hardest puncher in boxing history, and for good reason. The Black Destroyer scored 70 knockouts out of 76 career victories, which is a staggering number as far as ratio. So, of course, we got to know. 70 knockouts and 76 wins. Got to be 90. Yep, it is. 92.1%. Like I said, a staggering number for the Black Destroyer. Yeah, that was his nickname. 92.1% knockout ratio. I mean, 9 out of 10 people he got when they were going out of there ain't gonna see the final bell, right? 70 knockouts out of 76 wins. Staggering number, right? But Shavers came up short in his 2 title opportunities against Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes. However, the Black Destroyer knocked both men down, showcasing his incredible power. Yeah, both got up too, because they both had incredible chins to get up from the Black Destroyer knocking you down. Andrew Golota, wasted potential. He just couldn't help going low. That's why they call him Foul Pole. That's his nickname, for Andrew Foul Pole Golota. He didn't go by that, but that's what people called him. He had Riddick Bowe beat both times and went low and got disqualified both times. Of course, heavyweight. And he had 50 fights on the dot, 41 wins, 9 losses for Andrew Foul Pole Golota. It feels genuinely crazy that Andrew Golota was never a world champion. The Polish boxer got too many title shots to count and was one of the best heavyweights alive for a long time. But Golota just couldn't get out of his own way. Couldn't get out of his own way. Should have had a title. Golota famously got title shots against John Ruiz, Lamont Brewster, Chris Bird, and Lennox Lewis as 4 of them. And he didn't win a single one of those fights. Couldn't get out of his own way. The great British fighter, Harold Graham. I thought he had one too, but he didn't. He had some minors, like the British Commonwealth, European, that kind of thing. Harold Graham, the bomber, he had 3 title shots in his career, 3 of them. And Harold had 54 fights. He won 46 and he won 48 and lost 6. Now, Harold Graham is considered arguably the greatest British boxer to never become champion. And it makes sense why. He won several regional titles and had cracks at several world titles. In 1989, Graham got extremely close to becoming a title holder. I think he lost that one by split decision. Graham was famously just 1 scorecard away from defeating WBC middleweight champion Julian Jackson that November. While the bomber came up short that night, he was still a phenomenal talent. Yeah, he lost a split decision. That one, I believe. Okay, David Tua never had a title. David Tua. Let me refresh this thing again because for some reason it won't move up. Yeah, Foul Pole Al Booger. Yep, that's what they call him. Now he don't go by that, but that's what, he had, like I said, he had Riddick Bowe beat twice, hit on all the cards, and just kept going low after the referee warned him. The first time he almost started a riot. I don't even know why they allowed them to fight again. People got hurt, locked up, everything after that first fight, but they let him have a rematch. But it didn't get out of hand, but he still got disqualified. But the first one, they started a riot. He was fighting in the audience and every damn thing. People charged the ring. David Tua. This Samoa boxer had an insane amount of power because he was a heavyweight. And David had 59 fights in his career. He won 52, lost 5, 2 draws. He's about the same size as Mike. I think Mike was 5'11". David Tua was 5'10". Now, David Tua was another boxer that was just in the wrong place, wrong time. The Samoan boxer was coming up in the 90s. He had to fight some absolute killers. In 2000, Tua had a great win streak and momentum behind him. And that was enough to earn a title shot, right? Unfortunately, it was against the great Lennox Lewis. And Lennox was rolling at that time. He earned this title shot. Unfortunately, it was Lennox Lewis. The Lion dominated his much smaller opponent, winning by unanimous decision. Unfortunately, that was Tua's one and only title fight. Only got 1 shot at it, and it was against Lennox. And Jerry Quarry is on the list. Yeah, I put the picture twice. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, I figured Jury should be on here. Best fighters never win a title, Jury. Same thing as Tua. Wrong place, wrong time, 70s. Any other decade or era, Jerry Query would have definitely been a title, a champion. The Bellflower Bomber fought many legends. Oh, for sure. Fought all of them back then. He had 66 fights in his career. He won 53, lost 9, had 4 draws. Jerry Query really should have been a champion at some point in time. Unfortunately, the Bellflower Bomber had the misfortune of fighting in the absolute stacked 70s era of heavyweight boxing. Yep, wrong place, wrong time. Query fought Muhammad Ali not once, but twice. He also fought the likes of Smoking Joe Frazier and even defeated greats such as Floyd Patterson. Despite all that, Jerry never won a world title. Had a couple shots, but never got over the hill. Ruben Castillo, another surprising one. Ruben never had a title. Conquistador faced killer after killer. Killer after killer. For that lightweight his entire career too, believe. Now he had 79 fights. He won 67, lost 10, 2 draws. Now there are few fighters more unlucky than Ruben Castillo. The Mexican-American boxer was incredible down at featherweight, as well as super featherweight. So he fought featherweight, super featherweight, and lightweight. My bad. Now Castillo got 4 title shots in his career, but the man did face some stiff competition. He faced Hall of Famers. Salvador Sanchez. Get this. This is just unlucky. His 4 shots against Salvador Sanchez, Alexis Arguello, Julio Cesar Chavez, and Ron Laporte. Wow. And he wasn't even dominated by any other legends, showing his talent. It was just that he was in the wrong place, wrong time. Same thing for him. 4 shots. Salvador Sanchez, Alexis Arguello, Julio Cesar Chavez, and Ron Laporte. Just unlucky. Man couldn't get a break. And number 1, greatest fighter of all time to never win a title is the Boston Bone Crusher, Sam Langford. Yeah, ESPN calls him the best, greatest fighter nobody knows. Yeah, Sam Langford. Another era, he would have definitely been a title. Jack Dempsey said, I'm not fighting. Jack Dempsey said Sam Langford would absolutely flatten me. And the man was half blind then, and like 40-something years old. And they still wouldn't get in there with him. The Boston Bone Crusher was held back exclusively due to his race. He fought in that era too, yeah. He fought from lightweight all the way up to heavyweight. Usually average weight was like between 160 and 170. And Sam had 2, man, I gotta add this. There goes the lamp. I'm sorry. I got excited. I gotta add this up. Sam had so many fights. 8 plus 30 plus 38. Sam had 246 fights in his career. Okay? You heard right, 246. And he won 178. He lost 30, 38 draws. And he probably had more because record keeping was sketchy back in that era, 1900s through 1920s. So he probably had upwards of 200 fights because some of them wasn't even kept track of in newspaper decisions that don't go on your official record. That's before they had judges and stuff. And the next day in the newspaper, some newspaper men at ringside would print a decision as to who won. That was called the newspaper decision. And there's Azim, salute Azim Shabazz back in the building today. Always good to see Azim. Salute, my friend. How are you today? Okay, we finishing off some of the best fighters that never won a title. We're going to talk about some records. It might never be broken. Then we're going to get some link time at the end. Okay, let's talk about the greatest fighter to never win a title, though, the Boston Bone Crusher, Sam Langford. There he is on the screen. Sam Langford is considered the greatest fighter ever not to win a title. But many fans don't even know his name. The Boston boxer competed at lightweight all the way up to heavyweight, standing at just 5'7" and weighing around between 160 to 170. Langford was explosive for his era. But due to racism in boxing around his era, Langford couldn't fight for titles. He won the ceremonial colored heavyweight title in 1917, but that was it for the legendary boxer. And he fought Barbados Joe Walcott for the welterweight title in the early 1900s, and he won the fight, but they robbed him and gave it to Barbados. So that would have been his title right there. Yeah, they robbed Sam. The one title fight he got in. The one that colored heavyweight title. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go to some records that will never be broken, and then we're gonna get some link time. Okay. Some records that will never be broken. Okay, let's see. Knock the other phone in the floor and everything. Hurt my arm. Okay, yeah, some records that will never be broken now. How's everybody? This is the Hump Day edition of Cast Sports, the Box Historian, bringing you all of that boxing history. Okay, hope everybody's enjoying today's show. I like these little highlights of boxing history things. We just jump around to different subjects and stuff. Mm-hmm. What's going to do the entire show? I had like 20-something boxes and number one of the title, but I did it in 2024. My eyes must have got worse because I couldn't read the handwriting. It was so small. 2024, I read it, but they had written it up. It's this little notebook. I couldn't even read the handwriting. I said, I can't do this one. Mm-hmm. Miss Cass lost my up-close glasses. Mm-hmm. I sit them down and she pick them up as her, and they go in that closet. That's the end of them. They in there somewhere. Okay, 10 boxing records that will never be broken, though. Okay, let's get into that. Had a great fight of the year today. Fight of the day. It was the fight of the year for 1986 when Lloyd Honeyghan upset Donald Curry. That was like the upset of the decade. It was upset of the year. Mm-hmm. Stopped him. Donald Curry didn't come off for round 7. Honeyghan had him all bloody and beat down. It was bad for Curry. But let's look at these records that will never be broken. 10 of them. Okay? 10 of them. Yeah, there's B-Hop and Muhammad Ali and Manny. 10 boxing records that will never be broken. Now, certain records are destined to be shattered, but within the realm of boxing, some prove exceedingly improbable or downright unattainable. The sport has witnessed a transformative journey in its rules, progressing from a time when rounds were exclusively scored based on knockdowns to the implementation of a 10-point must system. World titles have transformed by the number, and the standard number of rounds in a fight has shifted from 15 to 12 or even 10. Mm-hmm. Now, whether it involves establishing a record for the most consecutive victories or sustaining the lengthiest championship reign, these achievements underscore the extraordinary skill of boxers and the continued metamorphosis of boxing. Some pugilists with insurmountable records go back to the bygone era, while others belong to the contemporary cohort of fighters who have etched their names into the Guinness World Records book. Okay, let's look at it. Wilfred Benitez, the youngest ever world champion. The Puerto Rican sensation won a world title at 17 years old. Okay. While Mike Tyson is celebrated for securing a world title at the tender age of 20, the spotlight of the youngest world champion in boxing in history belongs to Wilfred Benitez, who achieved this remarkable feat at the age of 17. This record stands unassailable today as the minimum age for a pro fighter in the United States and various other countries is now at 18. At the age of 17, Benitez challenged the 30-year-old WBA junior welterweight champion, Antonio Cervantes, who had an impressive track record of numerous title defenses in 1976. In a historic fight, Benitez emerged victorious, seizing his first world title, becoming boxing's youngest world champion ever. And Antonio Cervantes will always be in the record books too as the man that lost it. So I don't know if you want to be in there for that, but he's always in there. He was on the other side of when Benitez became the youngest world champion. Perro, sir, what's up, Perro? In the building. We're looking at some records that will never be broken now. Then we're going to try to get some link time. Okay, the next one is, well, salute, Perro. Good to see you today. The next one is, and Benitez also became a world champion in 3 different weight classes. I think he's the youngest at 154 too. The Puerto Rican legend suffers from post-traumatic encephalitis due to numerous punches to the head. So we had the youngest, and I think the record for the oldest is safe too. B-Hop. Bernard Hopkins, oldest world champion. B-Hop picked up a world title at 49 years old. He broke the record 3 times. First, he broke George Foreman's. Then he broke his own twice, right? Broke Foreman's at 46. Then the first time he broke his own at 48. Then he broke it at 49. That's where it stands. I don't think anybody will get that. In 2011, Bernard Hopkins achieved a historic victory by defeating John Pascal through a unanimous decision, claiming a lineal WBC and ring light heavyweight championships. Okay? Excuse me for a minute. I don't know why I use this raglet phone. Excuse me for like 2 minutes, please. I gotta do the switcheroo. And we'll be right back in it. Talking about B-Hop, the oldest man to win a title. Yeah, Moses Atama. I think it's the next weekend or this weekend when Moses is fighting. I'm not sure, but I know it's soon. Young British fighter. There we go. We on B-Hop, right? Yeah, that's B-Hop up there. Okay, let's get back in it. To win it. Bernard Hopkins, oldest man to never win it. Record that will never be broken. Oldest world champion ever. Bernard Hopkins. Okay, so B-Hop beat John Pascal in 2011. He was 46 at that time, right? 46 years, 4 months, and 6 days old. Now he surpassed the previous record held by George Foreman, which he had won at 45 years old by defeating Michael Moorer. So B-Hop continued to defy age and break records. In 2013, he surpassed his own achievement by defeating Tavoris Cloud, reaffirming his status as the oldest world champion in boxing history. Hopkins, however, he was 48 then. He wasn't finished. Rewriting the record books again at the age of 49, he once again shatters his own record by clinching the WBA title from Beibut Shumanov, further solidifying his legacy as one of the sport's enduring and exceptional fighters. Bernard Hopkins. And of course, we got Manny's 8 weight divisions. I don't think, well, Amanda got 7 and she's still active, so who knows? Manny Pacquiao, most world titles in different weight classes. Manny Pacquiao stands alone in the boxing world. Oscar got 6 too, holding the remarkable distinction of being the only fighter to claim a major world title in 8 different weight classes. His extraordinary journey began as a flyweight, and he continued to ascend through the weight divisions, accumulating titles in flyweight, super bantamweight, featherweight, super featherweight, lightweight, junior welterweight, welterweight, and junior middleweight. And he skipped 2. He could have had 10. Okay, he skipped over bantamweight, and he skipped over super flyweight, 115 and 118. He went from 112 up to 122. Yeah, so he could have had 10, right? Manny's distinct versatility and power put him in the record books with an unbeatable record, okay? He became the oldest welterweight champion at 40 with his win over Keith Thurman. Keith fighting in a few weeks too. Manny became a 4-weight world champion from flyweight to featherweight in just over 4 years. Okay, Vic Tawil. He most knockdowns in a world title fight. Tawil knocked down his opponent 14 times. Now that's not the record for a fight, it's the record for a title fight. The record for one fight is 49. One man knocked the other guy down 42 times to the 1900 to 1910, and the other guy knocked him down 7 times. But Vic is the most in a title fight, 14. 42 is the record by one person in a fight. Okay? But 14 is a lot. Boxer Vic Tawil etched his name into the Guinness World Records book for achieving the most knockdowns in a fight, title fight. In 1950, he sent Danny Sullivan to the canvas 14 times. This record is highly unlikely to be surpassed in the modern era of boxing. They'll stop the fight before then. The implementation of the 3 knockdown rule, coupled with a prevailing emphasis on fighter safety and stoppages, right? More cautious approach when a boxer has endured significant punishment, makes Tawil's feat unique and enduring achievement. Yeah, he was the first South African to hold a world title too. Muhammad Ali, 3-time lineal heavyweight. He claimed the world heavyweight boxing title 3 times. He was in the line twice. One time, he beat the man that beat the man. When Spinks beat him, he came back and beat Spinks. That was one of his lineals. You could be in the line twice because he beat the man that beat the man, right? Muhammad Ali stands alone in the history of heavyweight boxing as the only 3-time lineal champion, achieved by triumphing over Sonny Liston, George Foreman, and Leon Spinks. He was in the line twice. The lineal championship is defined by a fighter defeating the reigning champion in a fight at a specific weight class due to the uncertainties and disagreements surrounding the continuity and definition of a lineal champion. Ali's feat is a remarkable and likely unbreakable achievement in the world of boxing. Ali ended his career with a record of 56 wins, 5 losses, with 8 heavyweight world title wins and 19 successful title defense fights. And in 10 rematches, he's undefeated, 10-0. Ali lost 43 months of his prime in exile due to his opposition to the Vietnam War. Okay, here's the man. This definitely will never be broken. Billy Bird, most knockouts in a career. Bird knocked out 139 opponents. Archie Moore's number 2 with 132. That won't be broken easy. No one will even fight that many times. The title of the most knockouts in the history of boxing belongs to the British boxer Billy Bird, who achieved a staggering 139 knockouts out of his 356 pro fights during the 20th century. In the landscape of modern boxing, it's uncommon for fighters to accumulate as many fights, let alone knockouts, making Bird's record highly improbable to be surpassed. Billy Bird never won a world title and had 356 fights in his career. 139 knockouts, none of them were in title fights. Never won a world title. Wow. Crazy. Okay, Henry Armstrong, 3 world titles in 3 divisions simultaneously. Armstrong is regarded as one of the greatest of all time. I got a number 4. I got Pearl, I heard talk, is the leader of the CCD now. Technique. Okay. Yeah. I got Armstrong number 4 all time. I got Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali, Willie Pep, and then Henry Armstrong. Okay. Let's start out the top 10 all time. Henry Armstrong made boxing history as the first fighter to concurrently hold 3 titles in 3 different divisions. In 1937, he secured the featherweight world title by defeating Petey Saran. The following year, Armstrong claimed the welterweight world title from Barney Ross. In his very next fight in 1938, he further solidified his unprecedented achievement by winning the lightweight world title against Lou Ambrose. And yeah, wasn't juniors and supers then. They weren't that popular if they were any. So he was defending featherweight 126, lightweight 135, welterweight 147, a span of 21 pounds simultaneously. However, with the current mandatory defense schedule requiring fighters to defend titles in each weight division at least once every year, 9 months, and the modern trend of scheduling title fights several months apart, it appears highly improbable for any contemporary boxer to replicate such an accomplishment. Armstrong defended his welterweight title 19 times. He was the Ring Magazine Fighter of the Year in 1937. Okay, now this one. Ooh, this one is crazy. Len Wickwar. The most verified professional fights in boxing history. Wickwar also had the most wins in pro boxing history. Okay? Lightweight Len Wickwar boasts the distinction of having the most verified pro fights and the highest number of wins among all boxers in history. From 1928 to 1947, 19 years, Wickwar amassed an extraordinary record of 342 wins, 86 losses, and 43 draws, totaling an astonishing 470 fights. Now, I think George Dixon said he had 800, but records were sketchy back then. He could have, but record keeping wasn't that good. Wickwar was up to the 20s to the 40s, so yeah, he got credit for his fights. Yeah, over 400 fights. 470 and 342 wins, both records. In an era where even the most active journeyman typically accumulates among 100 fights in their career, Wickwar's record stands as a testament to his unparalleled durability and longevity in the ring. His feat is not only impressive across any era, but is considered untouchable in the landscape of modern boxing. Yeah, and they was, like I say, they were averaging like 100 fights in a career around that time. And he had 470. Wickwar fought over 4,000 rounds in a near 2-decade career. 93 of his victories came by the way of knockout. 93 knockouts and 300-something wins. Okay. Joe Gans versus Batley Nelson, the longest world title fight. Yeah, we talked about that the other day, remember? Gans and Nelson, 42 rounds. And Gans broke his arm in the 34th round and fought the last 8 for broken arm. And won the fight. Won the fight. Yeah, for broken arm. 8 rounds. Quite a fight. Joe Gans, the inaugural Black American boxing champion, and Batley Nelson etched their names in history for engaging in the longest boxing match championship fight on record. Because I know of a 110-round fight. Wasn't a title fight, though. In 1906, the epic battle lasted an astonishing 42 rounds, spanning 2 hours and 48 minutes. That ain't nothing. The 110-round fight started on Thursday evening and ended on Friday morning. Okay? So just imagine, you go to bed at night, get up for work the next morning. These two guys was fighting all that time. All that time, all night. 110 rounds. And then the fight ended in a draw. That's the crazy part. 110 rounds fought overnight only to end in a draw. They both just said hell with it and quit. Because, a man had to stay down then in a round, and then when you were knocked down, and they both kept getting up. So they said, forget it. Changed referees and everything around the 90th round. But 1906 was the epic battle between Gans and Nelson, right? Lasted 2 hours and 40 minutes. This marathon fight, however, occurred under different rules compared to modern boxing. Okay, and in the contemporary era, fights adhered to the Queensberry rules, limiting the duration to 12 rounds, 36 minutes now. Given this restriction, the enduring record set by Gans and Nelson in 1906 stands as definitely unbreakable. And Gans was inducted to the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1990, the inaugural year. He stands among the greatest lightweight boxers of all time. And finally, Tony Canzoneri. What did Tony do? Shortest reign as world champion. Shortest reign. Canzoneri had 5 world titles in his career, but he had the shortest reign because, get this, in 1933, Tony Canzoneri held the world light welterweight for just 33 days, etching his name in their history books as the shortest reign from any world champion in history. He lost the title to Barney Ross in a majority decision loss. Despite the unadmirable record, Canzoneri was a 3-division world champion and 5-time, and ranked among the greats in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Canzoneri lost to Barney Ross in a rematch for the light welterweight title. So he took it from him, then they had the rematch just 33 days later, and he lost it back to him. Shortest reign in boxing history. BBO Sports TV in the building. What's up, BBO? How you doing today? BBO comes on tonight at 8 p.m. Don't miss it. Might see anybody pop up in BBO's chat. Coaches, cut men, fighters, anybody. Stitch Duran. Stitch Duran. Been in there twice on BBO. I want to be just like BBO when I grow up. Yup. If I had one of BBO's hands, I'd throw both of mine in. Okay, but salute BBO. Okay, what are we doing now? Okay, yeah, that was just another episode of Highlights of Boxing History today, that's all. I like to do that every now and then, talk about some different subjects. I had some fighters that I was going to highlight from the 1900 to 1910, but I changed my mind. We got like 15 minutes. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, shoot. Wait a minute. Excuse me. Let's get some link time. Okay. How that sound? Some link time. Get that situated. Okay. All my I's are dotted and my T's crossed. Anybody can hit the link that wants to for this 15-minute period. Okay, I guess that's it. Okay, yeah, we will to highlight some boxes at the end of the shows, time permitting, but you know, I'll start it. We got some boxes. We got Battling Nelson, James J. Jeffries, Barbados Joe Walcott, Sam McVeigh, Joe Jeanette, Tommy Burns, Stanley Ketchel, and the great Philadelphia Jack O'Brien. Okay, let's talk about Battling Nelson. That was the one in the fight with Joe Gans. We just talked about the longest title fight in history, 42 rounds. That's almost 3 hours. Battling wasn't above bending the rules. and he was getting ready to get knocked out in the 42nd round, so he fouled Joe Gans on purpose so he could get disqualified because the knockout was imminent. That was the fight of the week last week, fight of the day last week, remember? Battling Nelson. Let's get him. Oh, forget Battling Nelson. There's Thomas Hill. Oh, can't find the cursor. It's up there by InStream. I should have known where it was at. It is. What's up, Thomas Hill?
What's going on, Kaz, man? I ain't forgot about you. I haven't sent the link because I haven't.
Okay. Yeah, that's
I'll
cool.
send it to you today. I got wrapped up in some stuff yesterday, and I forgot all about it.
Okay.
But I'll definitely get it to you today for sure, so you can check it out.
Okay. What are we talking about this afternoon?
Well, you know, the biggest topics are the same old topics. You know, you got people talking about fights that are on the horizon and some fights that appear to be on the horizon, and then you got some that need to be on the horizon. So,
need to be, right?
So, you know, it's a lot of people talking about stuff like that. I will say this. You know, there needs to be changes. I don't know if these changes will ever happen because, you know, it involves people coming together, and sometimes people don't like to play nice. Sometimes people don't like to share, and sometimes people don't like other people knowing what they know. Yeah. Some people don't want to know what others know. And I think that is the biggest problem when mostly making certain fights with certain promotional companies. Some operate similarly, so those are easier to make.
Yeah, that's true.
But unfortunately, there are some who operate totally different, and those are the ones that become difficult. I think that ultimately everything is about making as much money as you possibly can.
Boils down to,
so with that being the case, these people who put on these fights, they want to make as much money off of that fight as possible, and they want to give as least as possible to the fighters.
Yep.
Which is amazing because they're the one that's bringing folk, right?
Yeah, that's what we paying to see.
But you know, they don't feel like they're deserving of the fight. I think they feel like what they do is more important.
Yeah.
I think, you know, at some point in time, the fighters need to come together and start recognizing their worth too, and start talking collectively with their people to tell them, hey, look, yo,
right.
Because, you know,
tell them what they want.
You can't, no matter how important you are, and they are important because, you know, they got to make the necessary tighter ins and outs of putting together everything so that everything is in compliance with state rules and regulations. And, you know, you got to make sure that you got everything protected. So you got to have the right amount of medical teams right there. You got to have security. You got to have vending. You got to have all these things to make sure that, you know, people are not restless.
Right.
But they're coming to see people go into the ring and fight. You gotta have them. Yeah. If you don't have them, then what do you have? They're not gonna come see you negotiate. They're not gonna come. You said what? You said what?
To your arena.
Yeah, they're not gonna come to the arena to see people sit there in suits and negotiate.
Nah.
They're not gonna come there to see them do anything. So that means these fighters are important. I think that, you know, they got to come to a point where they start seeing the merit of the fighter too, so that we can start working in between these companies so that people won't be afraid to watch somebody else operate under another person's like business model. So that is the biggest hindrance in the fights, the business models. The way we make our money and how we distribute our money. It's kind of hard. Like I'm gonna say this because I believe in this. right now, if there was something that you found that was actually able to cure something, they wouldn't want you to put that out there. Now, why would they want you to put something out there? Say, for instance, you have found something that would cure COVID, right? Well, you never had to worry about it again. They wouldn't want you to put that out there. Why not?
Why? Tell me.
Because, like, they can treat you with medication.
Yep.
For the symptoms of it.
Mm-hmm.
They won't treat you
right
for the cause. They'll treat you for the symptoms, which further creates other symptoms.
Yeah.
And, you know, you at the basic whim of God to make sure that, you know, not whim of God, but the mercy of God, so that, you know, you can hope that these things don't impact your body worse than forward. But they're making money off of it. They're making monies off of vaccines and stuff like that. So
you're right. They want to keep the money flowing, so they don't want no cure.
Kaz, you know how much money they make? They're in trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
Pharmaceutical companies together, they're in trillions of dollars every year.
Yeah, that's big business, man.
They can't lose that money.
And them doctors in bed with them too, you know.
You got to be.
They get patients
because you get kickbacks. You would get kickbacks. If you're making me make trillions of dollars, we gonna make sure we take care of it.
You know, you taking medicine a lot of times you don't even need. They just making money off of the pills, you know.
So we're in a capitalist society, right?
Yeah.
We're in capitalism. They're gonna capitalize off of everything.
That's right.
These people are not trying to lose their money. So they're not going to try to value these people, and they're not going to see anything that makes them lose more money than they have to. Like, if we're giving them and they're good with this, then they're going to be good with this. And, you know, that's one of the problems that I see with us getting fights. Now, should it be that way? No, but, you know, we got to get past that. And I'm hoping that we can get to a point where we can get past that. Because,
you know, a lot of fighters, they make a lot of money, but they just satisfied. They don't know they could make so much more, man. They deserve to make so much more, but they satisfied, you know, with the way they treat. They're not satisfied, but they deal with it because that's the way it is, you know.
Yeah, no, and because of that, you got people like Zuffa.
Mm-hmm.
And got people like ProBox.
Yeah,
it was OTX before that, and it was like the tag team thing too. But there's somebody that's trying to give people a chance to make some money, but also be seen and possibly make even more money. Because ultimately, when you hit it big, you do make a lot of money, more money than you possibly could if you did things the civilian way. Like, well, I won't say civilian. I'll say the blue collar way or
what you mean,
white collar way. It takes time. Here, you know, it takes time, but the time can be shortly quickened if somebody can just catch wave with me, and then we can roll that wave. So I understand it, but this is what I don't understand.
Yeah,
we bash the fighters.
Mm-hmm.
We bash the fighters. We take turns talking about how trash they are, how they're ducking people and
all that. Yeah,
and then the truth is they don't really have much control.
No,
very few of them.
Mm-mm.
So that's why I say, Kaz, you know, I would hope that, see, in this time where we don't have a lot of action, there's a lot of stars missing from the sport, and the ones that are there not fighting, that we could actually start to see the value of the fighters. And we could also...
I don't know why they don't get a union, because in them sports that have unions, the owners of the teams, they don't have nothing to do with that.
See, a long time ago, I told you that would be a great show right there, a great showcase topic right there. The need for a union and how will it go about? How can they get it one? But see, the reason why is because right now nobody's really, you know, sanctioning the people who are pulling moves. Because, you know, for a longest time, I mean, people couldn't fight because, you know, they wasn't in complicit. They wasn't in compliance with the mob, and if you wasn't in compliance with the mob, you know, it can go bad.
And you know, a lot of fighters are satisfied. They don't want to rock the boat. You know?
Yeah, they don't want to rock the boat because they're getting still better than what, you know.
Yeah,
a lot of people are getting. So, you know,
and not just so much better with the
then there's the ones. You said what?
and not just the money, they could be treated so much better with a union than other
Well, if it's the right union, because I swear to you, like some unions are not good. There are some unions that are extremely good, like the baseball union. If I could, I would suggest that everybody had the baseball union. Whoever it is that's doing the baseball union, their union is the best.
Yeah, I don't know who
they fight. I'm gonna look up who the heck is the baseball union, and that's the union that everybody should try to push for, because that's the union that get people their just due, so to speak. Shout out to Just Do Boxing.
Yeah, they do. Like baseball got a very good one. Yeah,
very good one. So I would wish that they could get something like that, because they making so much money off these people, man. And some of these people have given their life for the sport, and they've made money off of them giving their life. There's nothing going to their family. And see, that's why, it kind of pains me, because, you get typecast as a fanboy when you point out there's somebody out there that is doing good by their fighters.
Mm-hmm.
And while everybody else says that they're doing terrible, the fighters love this guy.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I'm saying? So, can't be that bad. Now we get to see, because, they're going to have to come together, because there's a force that's coming that's trying to take over, and they can change the way boxing is broadcasted, and on top of that, the way it is scaled. So if they want to be pertinent, they're gonna have to work together, and I think that's
the thing. Bud been talking the union stuff for years, man, but a lot of the other fighters don't back him and jump in with him. Like I said, some of them just they happy, said they don't want to rock the boat. They're making more money than they ever could have made if they wasn't fighters. But things could be so much better for them,
Yeah, no doubt, because you got people like Canelo that's making an exorbitant amount of money. Like this make you making hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
That's going to last his family for a long time, and if he lives in Mexico, even longer than that. So it's some incentive for some people who have managed to get big and make it big in spite of the system. But for the other people, man, it's tough. And because of that, man, and because I know it's not easy to get in that ring, I don't like calling people bums and trash. Now, I do joke every now and again with people who like to call people's bums and trash, and I'll say some stuff in jest, but it's only in jest, man, because in truth, there are no bums and there are no trash up in that sport.
Not at all, man.
Because that's a sport that can take your life. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy that we talk about people who give their life.
You got to think about what they do just before they even get in the ring, just the training and all that stuff, the sacrifices they make, man.
No, absolutely. What you got to sacrifice is key.
Yeah, you got to do before they even
that's so
fight,
that's so true, Kaz. We don't even think about that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't think about that part of it,
and we should be. And that's why we need shows that actually chronicle that type of stuff instead of the shows that frequent the ways that talk about folks, talk about fighters, and talk about promoters, and talk about everybody. They don't hardly ever talk about the sanctioning bodies. They don't talk about the promotioners for the most part. They only talk about certain ones. And it's a lot that needs to be talked about. Like I said, just going in. I'm glad that you did the one where what it takes to put on a fight, man. There's so much moving parts that go in and putting on a fight. Ain't easy. It ain't cheap.
A lot of people don't know these things, Hill, and they would talk about the sport better if they knew these things,
Yeah,
those big channels need to start. They got the ears need to talk about some of this stuff, man.
Yeah, so when you say what's going on out there, that's what's going on out there. It's the same rigmarole. People talking bad about the same boxers, talking about the same promoters and fights being scared of to be made, and it's never that. Unfortunately, it's just the way we dress it up. You say what?
These guys been doing. I say no fighter is scared. These guys been doing this stuff since they was little children, man.
See, and that's because you can look at it from a fair point of view. Like there's no
Mhm.
bias for you. You just want to see fights. Like, it's too bad that we don't have a lot of people that just want to see fights.
I know.
We got people that just want to see fighters, and sometimes they want to see fighters do bad. And that's the crazy part about it. They want to see people down bad.
You don't even know these people.
You don't
But
even
you hate
know
them.
these
You never
people.
met them in your life, but you hate them. How can you hate somebody you never even met? Man?
These people don't know you. Like you said, you never met these guys and these women, and yet we talk. And you know, like I say, sometimes it's funny, but a lot of times it's just ridiculous, and
Mhm.
that's the reason. Like, there's no, and we got to look at it. Every other sport has a union. You're right about that. Every other sport has a system that allows you to go on and continue to further yourself and get a benefit off of it.
Owners and all those people don't have a damn thing to do with it. It's all the players.
You know what I'm saying?
They're
Football,
They
football,
control.
baseball,
Yeah.
basketball. You can be in circuits that allow for you to travel, that will
Yeah.
pay for your stuff, your hotels and everything like that, that will put you amongst experience so that you can get better and better and better. Then you can scale up and you can go to college. And then from college, you can go to any type of format that will allow for you to play, whether it's overseas, whether it's in the G League, whether it's the pros.
They set you up. Yes. Yeah.
Football, something similar. You got college.
Mm-hmm.
You got travel teams. You got the pros. You got overseas. Baseball, same deal. Boxing don't have that at all.
Nothing. You don't have
And
nothing.
that's a shame, man. It should be a place where you can go.
All
it should-
these years, man. Boxing been around. They never had none of that. That's crazy. That's unbelievable.
And it's one of the
Nobody
biggest
never-
spectacles.
Yeah. Nobody never thought about starting a boxers union. Promoters, sanctioning bodies, all of that don't have nothing to do with it. That would be the box.
Shut up.
Run by the boxers for the boxers, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out Al Booger, man. I always want to give Al Booger love, man. That's a good guy right there. That brother is solid. He said
knowledgeable guy.
Yeah, he said that your boy Michael the Jinx Spinks, I guess he was terrified. He said, but 99% of fighters are not scared. And that is the truth. The truth is the fighters usually are not scared.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Now, they might not want to lose standing. They might, and especially in this climate.
Yeah.
In this climate of boxing, you can't afford to take losses. And the way you lose can affect how people will receive you. So I understand that. You might not want to place yourself through that scrutiny. They ain't afraid to get in the ring, though, man. Come on.
You know what, Theo? And the way that fight went, Michael Spinks already knew that he was just going after that money. He made the biggest payday of all combined in that one fight, you know. He knew what was going to happen to him. That's what Al Booker, right? He was scared because he knew what was going to happen, but he wanted that paycheck too. So he went on in there.
Getting turned on that paycheck.
He just was scared of I just hope nothing bad don't come out of it. Just knock me out, let me get out here and get my bag, you know.
I think it was Shannon Briggs. That tried to get the union together.
Yes, in some situations, that was a fight where they had weight classes for a reason. Michael Spinks had no business in that fight, but he wanted that bag, man. He was a light heavyweight. And guess what he didn't do after that? He never fought again. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got that bag.
Got out of there.
And, you know, got that bag in a time where, you know, you can do something great with it and you ain't got to worry about it, man. Shout out to them people that actually do something great with their bread. I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. He said that, you know, there's a union. I think that besides having a union, I think there needs to be somebody put together, some form of body that's put together that's full of fighters, former fighters, or officials.
Yeah.
You know, judges, and someone that had some type of understanding of boxing and how things operate, so that they can govern these sanctioning bodies,
That's what they
govern these promoters, and govern these judges, these supplements and things like that. So everything is on an even level. I think that they need to bring some semblance of control to a sport that hadn't had. Yeah, exactly.
Every other sport, Teal, like we were saying, a union and a commissioner's office. That would be what
There you go. Something like that.
Yeah.
Something where, you know, the sport can be commissioned.
Right.
If the police squad is commissioned, if the NFL is commissioned, if the NBA is commissioned, if the MLB is commissioned, soccer is commissioned, if every other single thing is commissioned, this sport right here, of all things, need to have commission.
Oh, it's just wide open, man. Different states, like some substance is banned in this state, but you can go to this state, it's legal, you know? And,
Absolutely.
it just needs some kind of entity, a commissioner's office over it. Everything is uniform, where no matter where you fight at, you know?
I mean, think about it. The NATO, they have a commission.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so this sport needs something to commission it.
Yeah, badly. Because see, like, look at Ryan Garcia. He lost his last fight, and his next fight is a title fight. With a commissioner's office, that wouldn't happen.
So now Al Booger makes an interesting point. He said it can only be feasible if it's for a closed body like Zuffa. And see, I think that's where I kind of beg to differ. I think that there can be a way to do it. There can be a way to do it. It's almost like you're making, you're getting people to agree to sign to a format of way we're going to do things.
Mm-hmm.
While you have the power to operate on your own, but within this format, this standing, and everybody has to agree to that. Now, the way you exhibit it can be different, but the way that we do it, we go about it, has to be uniform. I think that we might be able to get it, but you know, it might be a little bit of trepidation with that because of the fact that it isn't closed off. But I think that it should be looped together, not closed off, but looped together, that everybody's working in harmony. And I think that there should be standards that are in play that are effective to all of them. So, for instance, there should be a criteria to base how people are ranked.
Mm-hmm. All of that, yeah. And they just got to make it clear that we are the commission and our rules are the law of the land.
But that's why I agree with you. And I agree with Al Booger too, you know.
Yeah.
There is that term feasibility.
It would take a lot of work, man, but it's needed. But you know.
But feasibility doesn't mean impossibility as well at the same time. Yeah. So there is a way. You just got to be lucid in thought. You got to be able to see what other people don't see, and you got to be able to tie it together. It's like people who make artists with tapestry. It's kind of hard to see the pattern when you don't understand, but we need somebody that has some understanding, some discernment, where they can weave together this thing so that they can make it intricate and applicable, where they both can coincide one with another and still have some form of an individuality, almost like the football. Like the football is a collection of owners, right?
Mm-hmm.
I look at the system is like unto that. Like you got some people who own the rights to put on fights. They're the promoters. Now they should be for the fighters, but they're actually for themselves. Then you got the managers that manage and make sure that, you know, these people are being treated fairly. Those like head coaches.
That's what they're supposed to do, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then you got everybody else. I mean, we got to get a way to get everybody on the same chain. Your boy Al Booger says, remember the WBA and the WBC has multiple meetings to unify the rules and standards in that 2000. It never happened.
Never happened.
But it needs to happen. Don't you think it needs to happen, though, Booger?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
I think that then it makes it streamlines everything. It streamlines everything. And then it makes it easier to get not unifications, but what was the other one? Yeah, unifications. It makes it easier for unifications to happen if it's streamlined. Because if you can streamline the standard, then you can streamline the pay. And ultimately, that's what everything. You say what?
I said the problem gonna come in. Some people they just have to get out of the sport, like Mauricio, and he controlled the WBC.
But
Some
see,
people
that's the
just
thing.
go.
Somebody should be responsible to see the corruption that is Mauricio.
Yes, exactly. He got to go. You're not
Any
going to
other-
have any kind of rules or nothing. He's just not going to do it. You know?
And not just Mauricio, because I don't want to single him
I'm just
out.
making
But
an
any
example
other,
out of him. But yes, it's a bunch of them that just need to go, man.
because you know the WBA will be on some BS too. The WBO be on some BS.
It's bad for the
The
sport.
IBF, they cleaning their act together, but you know they want some BS. Like, but you want somebody, if they won't do it themselves, you got to have somebody to make sure. Because
Make
we're
sure.
talking about lives in the balance.
Yeah.
Lives are in the balance. Like there are people who are bargaining or bartering other folks' lives. And these people doing whatever they got to do to risk their lives so that, you know, that their family can breathe again. That's crazy, man. And there's nobody held accountable. That's just the quote unquote, the nature of the business or the business of boxing or however they want to coin it. No,
Yeah.
no, we gotta do better. And, you know, I agree with what you said, Cass, man. I fully agree with that, man. I think that, you know, there has to be somebody that's going to regulate, because right now it's unregulated.
Totally. Totally. We seen this, Mauricio, and it was on Just Do. Al Booker seen it. He pretty much just said, I'm in it to make money. I do whatever I want to make money. It don't matter who gets the fight.
And Al Booker said it's so crazy that, you know, the former president for the IBF had to go to prison because of the stuff that's going on. And, you know, Arum out here paying for rankings, as he said.
They were paying for rankings, man.
It's got to be a standard at place.
So they was doing it then, they doing it now. They just ain't been caught.
Hey, I understand now why they say it's the Wild Wild West. because the rule is what you make it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's funny. I never looked at it like that, but I'm glad you guys helped me to see that.
Fighters was promoters was paying them for rankings and stuff, man.
That's crazy. That's crazy, Cass. So if they could pay for a ranking, they could pay to have a fight.
That was when Congress should have stepped in then. That was the perfect time for Congress to step in and say, hold up.
Congress got to be in part of it, though. They got to be a part of it.
That was the perfect time for them to do it, but they didn't. You know, they didn't.
They getting takes. They getting broke off too. They gotta be, Cass. They gotta be. Because you know where it's happening?
Gotta be.
It's happening in LA or California. It's happening in Nevada. It's happening in Nebraska. It's happening in Arizona. It's happening in Ohio.
Yeah.
It's happening in Texas. It's happening in New York. It's happening in Florida. Where else they put on fights in the U.S.? New Jersey. Ain't Atlantic City, New Jersey?
Yeah. Remember they had that big steroid scandal in baseball?
Yeah, exactly.
They had congressional hearings about that. But when this must happen in boxing, nothing.
And guess who was involved in it?
Bob Arum was in, I know that.
Yeah. And hey, well, you know, Bob Arum, wherever the money is, he gonna be involved. But the MLB helped facilitate this.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But they got a commissioner and everything, you know.
Ooh, that's a great point. Al Booger made a great point. You know, it has to be enough lawmakers in various countries to get together. Because, you know, it just can't be here. It has to be universal.
Can't be here. That's
and
right.
That's where it becomes tricky.
Yeah.
Because some people don't play well with other folks because of nation relations.
That's the problem. That's a big problem right there. You know, that would be a huge problem.
Yo, I didn't think that. Hey, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, Al Booger, because I wasn't even looking at that scale of it.
Yeah, I didn't think about that part neither, but yeah.
That does make it extremely difficult. Because there are some people who will not play ball with the United States. They loathe the United States.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Boxing they have fights everywhere, man. More so than any other sport.
yeah. It's a worldwide event. I think it's like number 3 or 4.
Huh?
What is it, like number 3 or 4?
Jimmy, you're 4.
Yeah, and as far as in the world, like where does boxing rank?
Boxing.
That's a good question, but it's up there. Wherever it is, it's up there. Because all over the world they box.
Yeah, that's true.
That can't be said of the basketball game, even though it's more far spread. That can't even be said of the baseball game, even though it's even further spread. Soccer, it can be said, because soccer, they play everywhere.
Yeah, but see, baseball and basketball is played all over the places, but it's not NBA or Major League Baseball. You see what I'm saying? They got different leagues on their own.
No, that's a fact. That's a huge fact.
Yeah,
and as such, you don't command the type of revenue that those sports do. But boxing, no matter where you are,
right, that's the difference. Yeah,
you're right.
Point Al Booger made right there about them other.
That's a great point. That's why it's always good to have Al Booger. I wish he would come up and talk. That brother real sound.
That's what makes it so hard, right there. It would be very hard. It takes some time to do, but they need to at least try, get started on it or something.
Man, they definitely should try because like I said, unfortunately, lives are in the balance.
Have like a big conference or something somewhere, and all these countries have a representative there, and just talk about it or something. But they ain't even making no kind of effort, man. It just like you said, the Wild Wild West.
The Wild West.
Wide open, man.
That's crazy. I didn't even think about it like that.
That's what makes it so bad. One of the most dangerous sports there is. It's like
the dangerous.
Well, that's crazy. For that to be the one that's like that. You know what I mean?
Well, the skydiving is sport because I don't know nothing more dangerous than that. I don't understand why people would want to get out of a vehicle in the air and fly through the air.
Auto racing, flying around there 200
Yeah. Now that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. You right about that. Because you're in a vehicle going like 200 miles. Sometimes they going 200 miles per man.
He get killed. Dale Earnhardt, one of the biggest names in the history of the sport, got killed in a car accident, man, doing that mess.
Yeah, number 3. Was that number 3, Dale Earnhardt?
Yeah. Like one of the top 5 drivers in the history of the sport. That's like Canelo or somebody getting killed in a boxing ring. Dale Earnhardt getting down in an auto accident.
Speaking of that, and this is Cash Sports, man. You ever see that movie Ford versus Ferrari?
I might have seen. I don't know it by the name, but I've seen quite a few movies on.
I'm gonna send you that movie too. That was a heck of a movie. It was about Ford's involvement in Formula One racing. The big deal, the one where Ferrari usually dominates and things like that. Well, right now I think Mercedes is the team to beat. But man, it was a really good movie. It was a really good breakdown of the sport and what goes into getting in that race and making your car available to race. It's excellent. Yeah. I would send that to you along with the. You said what?
NASCAR. I'm a huge fan of that. I'm a huge NASCAR fan.
You've ever been
to it and everything, man. They running around in circles.
Oh no, definitely. Stuff, even to knowing your vehicle, tuning it, making sure that you can get as many miles, knowing when to bring it back in the fuel.
Coming in for a pit at the right time, so you won't lose no positioning and all of that, man.
Knowing when to change your tires because you need the grip on the road.
They game plan on all that stuff, like before the fight and stuff, man.
How to pass folk.
Next lap, and how they got teammates out there too. They're helping each other.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't understand that.
I one car. He just pull you right along with him. You're not out there to win. You're out there to help your teammate win it because he had a certain point level in the points scoring.
Oh, Booger, F1 guy. I didn't know Booger was into the racing, man.
Yeah, I am too, Booger.
Booger, did you see the Ford versus Ferrari movie?
Mm-hmm.
My bad. Say that again, Cass. My
No, I
bad.
was just saying how the strategy, like his teammates, and like to get toward the end of the season, you start get accruing points, and like a certain teammate, he ain't out there to win. He out there to help his teammate win the race or finish at a certain position to pile them points up and win the championship. You know, you don't have to win the race. Your positioning get your points too, whatever position you finish in. You know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know.
Yeah, man.
You know, like I said, that really truly is.
Mm-hmm.
While I don't know why they call it a sport, because I don't think you're competing. I think it's the car. You got to check that. You got to check that flick out, man. I'm gonna try to get it to you.
He said auto racing ain't no sport.
No, I'm just saying because like you know you're in a car. Now I agree. It requires skill.
Yes,
like I can't get in there and do it.
Hell no.
I go flying off into some stadium or some stuff like that.
80. Doing 80.
Well, I know, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I used to be comfortable whipping vehicles. I ain't as comfortable as I used to be when whipping vehicles, but I never went as fast as they're going. Never went as fast as they're going. I've seen times where going fast as I was going, you could flip that car easily. Yeah. And those cars, especially because they needed to go fast, they got to make it light.
You got 20, 25 other cars right next to you. You doing.
And then, Cass, sometimes you got to avoid the wreck. You got to know how to drive when the wreck is there, and you got to be calm.
And you going 200, yeah. And all of a sudden, the crash pop up. But they drive right through them and around them, though, man. They got some skills. Yeah.
Nah, they definitely got skills. That's why I say I'm not. When I say it's not a sport, I mean in the sense of like it's us competing. They are in competition, but their vehicle is too.
Yeah.
Your vehicle and how you can get it tuned is everything in that thing. Yeah. You are very important because you got to know how to drive them things.
Yeah,
and drive and attack that course. So, I understand it. It's just that, every sport that I've known, it's us playing with a ball of some kind or some kind of thing. Never a car, man. I don't think you play with cars.
That's their ball. The car. Like you were saying, the weight of it, all that factors in there, man.
Hey, and I understand why they make bread, man, because that really can take your life. Like it could be one day. I know they make those cars as safe as they possibly can.
Yeah, but there's only so much you can do.
There's only so much you can do, though.
Yeah.
But man, Puddle up here. Oh, shout out Puddle.
He came up. Mm-hmm.
Hello. Same old Cass. What up, Tommy?
What's up with you?
Man, I'm chilling, fellas. I just saw you guys were up. Thought I'd say hello.
You got off in the car racing and everything.
Oh yeah, it's all good. All good. Can't talk about shirtless men every day.
Well, well, we were talking about it, and we were talking about like how unfortunately the way things take place, we displace the blame and we displace our ire towards these fighters, and it shouldn't be. I was just talking because he asked me what was going on, and I had just told him like where I was and the current conversation, and I'm like, yeah, it's about fights that are on the horizon, fights that need to be on the horizon, and then fights we hope will get on the horizon, and then it's always about the fighters and how they're not good, they're trash, they're bums, they're ducks. Other ones are just scared and things like that. And then it started to veer into like why the sport needs first and foremost some direction or some commission so that it won't continuously just operate willy-nilly, and that it needs also a union there for these fighters so that these fighters can be protected. What's your thoughts, man? Because Al Booger been cooking in that chat.
Well, that's a lot to unpack. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, Tommy, same old, bruh. I mean, like, all great points, but we ain't ever gonna get it, bro. I was thinking while you were cooking, my first reaction was, and it's and I think it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's a correct thought. Shit at one hand and pray in the other, Tommy. See which side gets filled first, bro.
Mm.
That blunt, to be honest.
Yeah, man, and you know, Al Booger, like I appreciate him a lot because like he just uses sense at times where, you know, a lot of times we look for, like you said, we look for like hope or possibility, and it does. In order for it to take place, it involves the world and having the world interplay with one another in spite of differences, and that will be huge because there are some people who don't rock with other folks, period, point blank. And nothing that can be said of them is ever going to be received by them. But in order for it to happen, it would have to happen that way. Now, I was saying we possibly could start it in our country and hope that it take flight. But because of our Q rating amongst everyone in the nation, I don't know if that's a good way to have it take flight too. But it would be nice. You're right about that. It would be nice.
Sure would. Sure would, man. Yeah, but definitely not in this country, bro. You know, we definitely ain't the what's it called? We're not the example of nobody.
No, for sure. Our moral ground.
That is too
It's steep. Yeah, because it's so steeped in like what's the word?
Hypocrisy.
There we go. It's
Yeah.
steeped in hypocrisy.
word right
Yeah.
there. Hypocrisy. Perfect.
American exceptionalism, bruh.
Yeah.
Can't
And
even be
because of that-
exceptional at that.
And because of that, people loathe the U.S. And because of our intrusive nature, man, we are intrusive. So much so that like right now in this current climate, we got people saying, "Nah, man, y'all bugging. y'all bugging. we ain't part of this." So yeah, you know.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, alarm bell should be like literally like the
Off the
people
damn
should be going nuts, bruh. And it's like business as usual.
charts, man. This shit is crazy, man.
What you think about that, Kaz? Because you know that's along the lines of where you used to hang your hat with your occupation, man. Dude, what do you think about just the current climate of our involvement in things political
It's ridiculous, man.
and foreign?
It's
Okay.
unbelievable. 20 years ago, man, nobody would have thought the United States would be like it is right now, man. Like in 2006, 7, nobody would have thought this would be going on in the United States. This is like some third world country or something with a dictator or something, man.
Man,
It's madness.
it has me thinking. It has me thinking about the transfer of power. I think we're witnessing the transfer of power.
The democracy is gone. They talking about we're going to lose democracy. That thing been gone.
Thank you, Cass. Thank you.
I think we lost democracy the day he ordered or he encouraged people to storm the White House, and then he pardoned them.
He tried to overthrow the government.
So some people got injured. I think a couple of people got killed, and these people were pardoned.
And people will say,
they
well,
were all
this ain't what I
pardoned, all
voted
of
for.
them.
People say this ain't what I voted for. This is exactly what they voted for.
Thank
We
you,
sit
Cass.
there all day on January 6th and watch this man try to overthrow the government, and you still put him back in there and voted for him? What the hell you think he was going to do this time? Huh? Come on,
Make
man.
America great again.
Anybody that's still supporting this shit is a fucking idiot. Anybody that's still supporting this bullshit that Trump doing is a fucking idiot or straight racist. One of the two, man. One of the two. You just straight racist or you're an idiot.
My bad, Kaz. I didn't mean to get you. I didn't mean to get you lit. I didn't mean to get you lit up like that. But I kind of agree. I think that there are so many signs that point that some choices that were made were bad choices, but the fact that we had questions of collusion and we had questions of what's the other term? were you selling out your people for to another people? What is that called again? I forget. It's not. It's like collusion. Mutiny.
Yeah.
Mutiny.
Sedition?
Well, sedition too, but mutiny is what I think they call it in military terms.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had.
You're talking about treason.
Treason. That's it. Treason. That's it. So collusion and treason. We have accounts of that levied against a person, and this same person who had those accounts, along with encouraged people to storm the White House, is back in office. That's crazy. That's
It's
crazy.
straight corruption. Now in this war, don't they use drones? Don't they use drones to drop bombs and stuff? Right?
Yeah.
His son just bought a damn company that sell drones. Right?
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I heard that yesterday. Straight corruption. How in the hell you got companies out here selling drones to the government for this war, and your son's gonna buy a company to sell drones, man? Come on, man. That shit is ridiculous.
Yep.
And people just sit back like it's okay. It's unbelievable, man.
Well, it's not. It's backyard syndrome. If it don't affect your background, you good. And that's one
But
thing.
it is. It's going to affect everybody. If you ain't a billionaire or nothing, it's going to affect you. Sooner or later.
It's diopposed to what we are supposed to be. We're supposed to be the United States, right? We're supposed to be united, but we care about our own backyards, and we care about that from the family all the way to the legislation, all the way to the jurisdiction, all the way to the way we police everything and govern things through secure. Say, like, there is always a distinction between a line, that line of, and whether it's our own backyard or extends to our county line or our state line or our city lines or freaking lines between, like, freaking all types of things that and deal with our safety and things like that, and our protection. It's always there, and it's always blurred because it can be this there and it can be this there. It's not united.
No, it's not. No, not at all.
So
divided.
It's divided. Exactly, it's divided. It should be the divided states of America. Everything is not united. There's no like. There are people, and I'll say this with just in the context, in the scope of the problem within folks. There are certain folks who love their people so much that they are for their people. They will do whatever it is for their people, and then you got other people who are out there just trying to do whatever it is for the people that are in their immediate circle. We are that.
It was purposely divided. Purposely divided, man. It was purposely.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And it's the reason why we can have this conversation that we had preceding it about boxing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's purposefully done this way.
Yep. It's crazy, man.
And you know, I mean, it's crazy. Like you said, it's just absolute crazy. But man, I don't want to take it.
I blame Tommy Hill. Gotta blame somebody, bro. Thomas Hill is as good as any.
Hey man,
I cut you off, Tommy. Go ahead.
I'm a good person to place the blame on, man. If I ain't doing nothing to be a part of the solution, I'm doing something to be every bit of the problem. You know, that's the thing.
You're not safe, man.
I know that, you know, we could do better. All of us could do better. It's just that, you know, we got to push through some stuff to do better. Because whenever you try to do something right, and the people that don't want it right, they gonna make sure it's tough on you, for sure. It's gonna be tough on you. That's why I respect people who actually did do stuff to try to make a change, because you don't know how difficult it was for them to do this stuff.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the stuff that we take for granted, man, people actually gave their lives for it. They got beat for it. They got imprisoned for it. They got mistreated for it.
And it's disappearing now. You know, it's disappearing right before our eyes.
Yeah, man.
They fought and died for it. Is being taken away right before our eyes, purposely.
And you got to also realize that this place is so much better than other places as far as what you can do, that there are people swimming through shark infested waters to try to get here, risking their life, getting on rafts that are made with some barely able to sustain stuff, that they're going out there in the midst of like Mother Nature. And we know how torrential that can be, but they trying to come to a better place.
Now, no more.
That's right.
But not no more.
This ain't
Yeah.
it. No. This is not it.
So yeah, man, it's crazy, but
Even
I
Rome
do-
fell, bro. Even Rome fell. Even the British.
but it fell from within, man. And look at how we are starting to fall.
Anytime you talk
with
about
them.
attacking Canada, the fool actually said he wanted to take over Canada. Like, what
Right?
is he talking about, man?
Get Greenland or Finland, whatever.
Take
the
over
fuck.
Canada.
You know what? But what I've
Yeah,
heard about
Greenland.
Canada got a lot of like activity within like its under its like landforms that is power, like energy. I think energy. So I think that they're trying to do that to tap into the energy,
Mhm.
you know, with all that their resource of energy. And I'm pretty sure they also got some crude oil out there and some other resources as well too. That, you know, you want to tap into.
You
But
just go around taking over people's countries, man.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's just saber rattling, to be honest.
Yeah, but you shouldn't even say no nonsense like that, man.
Facts.
You should not. You're right. You should not. You should not. And the way it is
Because-
said too is with a smug at all times. Everything he does is with a smug.
And everything you say goes out over the whole world, like the law, you know.
Oh, they're gonna broadcast it because they want us to be hated. They're giving them reason to hate us.
Hmm?
Yeah, I know Puro will be killing me with the one-liners, man. Your boy
What?
Puro.
What I do?
Stop.
Al Booger be tripping off of your one-liners.
Oh, man.
Well, I'm gonna stop. But it's crazy.
I mean, I know I stole this from somebody. It's like, why say 10 words when 5 will do?
That's
Hey.
right. Get
Hey,
the same point across.
hey. And that's why he's the boxtorian. That's why you a Portosaur.
Thank you.
Hey, what is CCD? Is that a gaming group?
Nah, it's actually an elite team of killers, bruh.
Okay.
Assassins. No, I'm just playing. It's
I was
just,
believing you.
it's just a hashtag, bruh.
Okay.
I saw that because your boy Technique had asked you a
I
question.
saw that before.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. No, there's some kid. I forget his name, but he's going around saying he's like the leader or whatever. But some
Oh,
young
yeah.
kid, bruh.
Man.
Yeah. No, this is that's old school stuff, man. I used to get labeled as racist just because of these 3 letters, Tommy.
PCD.
Oh yeah. Why would they say it was racist?
There's
Yeah.
a lot of dudes like with those letters saying a lot of racist shit.
Mm.
Oh,
I've seen it hashtag before somewhere.
I've seen it on a couple of people too, but I
Yeah.
only really know it from Kaz though. I mean, I'm sorry, from Puro.
Racist.
But I saw Technique say he heard some dude
Yeah.
named Telk.
Here, though.
Yeah. Tele, he goes by tele something.
Telecommunications
Telekinesis or something like that.
or telekinesis.
Yeah.
That boy got that telekinesis. I ain't mad
Like
at him.
this is from like back in the day, bro. I mean, like literally, like my buddy that used to do like the main channel for CCD or whatever. Like he left a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
I never really did content, but like whenever the homies wanted to come chat it up, you know, I go live or whatever.
Oh, okay, but
Shit, man.
that's what's up, man. I didn't know. I just saw that conversation. Thought it was kind of funny. I'm like, yo,
No, it's hilarious. It's hilarious to be honest.
I thought like, oh, y'all be gaming. What game y'all be playing? That's what I was gonna say. But no.
bro.
It was an actual group of folks that did YouTube.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
content.
they're still around, you know, but I mean, like,
Just not as
yeah,
active.
literally, like most people think it's synonymous with racism, but it's actually the opposite.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do, edgelord
I've
shit,
seen it
bro?
before. It had nothing to
I
do
stopped
with
fighting that. I stopped fighting that shit. I mean, I still argue against it, against anybody, but You know, edgelords are gonna do edgelord shit. What are you gonna do?
For sure, man. I hear you. But on that note, I know it's 1:40. I know you got to go. I'm gonna send you those
Okay.
videos. The Ford. I'm gonna try to find Ford versus Ferrari, and I'm definitely, I know where the Pro Box is, so I'll send that to you right now. Send it also to Al Booger, that Ford versus Ferrari. He didn't get a chance to check that movie out, so I'll let him see it as well too.
Okay. The
Hey
movie,
Tommy,
yeah.
before you go, YouTube cast, my fault. I literally thought that the Jamal and Resendez fight was gonna happen. So, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Apparently-
somebody pulled out.
apparently
Was it
just
Jamal?
it was just apparently it was just whatchamacallit, the same old shit, different day. You know, just people talking on the internet.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
it was never
yeah.
no legs to it.
Yeah, nothing is signed. Now they're saying it's Munguia and Resendez again because actually that was the one before Jamal got in
Yeah.
the mix.
Mm.
But I have no idea, to be honest. I think it's just you know what they do. Everybody, you know, all the fighters on the internet, they use it to like confuse, so they kind of like, you know, use leverage and talks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
leverage and talks, and also build buzz. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Bad buzz, in my opinion, bro. Like literally, like
Yeah.
I hate it, bro. I hate that. Like literally, this is one fight, and then it's the next one, and then
Yeah,
it's nothing.
because you already know what the conversation gonna be afterwards too. It's gonna be,
Yeah.
well, they ducking or
Yeah.
or see they're bankrupt or
It's
all
all the
types
same
of
old,
stuff.
same old. It's all the
Yeah,
And nothing about duck. Call it something totally different. Ain't got nothing to do with nobody ducking.
the same circle jerk over again. I hear you on that.
Oh, and one last thing, guys, before you guys leave, I know you guys. I gotta get my daughter soon too. But what'd you guys think of Top Rank and DAZN?
I think it's a good move.
Now that's really real. That's really real.
I think it's a good
Yeah,
move, and I
it's
think, you know, it gives us one more step closer to promoters working one with another. If they're on the same network or have access to the same network to push the promotion of their fight, I mean the production of their fights, then it can kind of skew somewhat the differences between them. So hopefully that brings them closer to like working hand in hand, and we're trying to make more fights, better fights on top of that.
I just thought they kind of like dropped the ball by not announcing any fights.
I think they want to make sure they secure everything before, because remember there was the part where they were going to renew, and then they had the people go out there and do them dirty and snake them, and then go over to Zuffa. So I think that the ESPN. Remember the ESPN and Top Rank, they were in a renewal process, and then them people went out there and went over to Zuffa or whatever it was, wherever they went.
Yeah,
and
I think that was misinformation though, Tommy Hill, because like the official from ESPN is that they weren't going to renew. They weren't going to do boxing at all, and then you just heard whispers of like maybe they'll go back to ESPN. But but I mean it's been a while, because I know a lot of people were like, I don't know why people were mad that like they were like having some fights on Tubi while they got their contract situation or their broadcaster, because that shit was free, you know. But at the end of the day,
I don't know who was mad at it, but I understand why people talked about it, because in the constant talks about certain people, they always put people down and lift other people up, and then you got one person who put it on a streaming service free. Now I think it's also smart, man. I think that you want to have access to various streaming sites too, because you want your thing to hit as many targeted audiences as possible. So now you got an ally. You got somebody that can distribute your product and be willing to, because you worked with them. It was a good move. I thought it was a hell of a good move. It's just that it was also for the people that was talking bad about a certain faction of folks. Look, you talking about them, and look at these people have to go this route. So it ain't always like easy for these fights to be put on, and you got to find a way to get them put on by any way necessary. And then it showed that they ain't gonna let one pony, or what is it, stop the show. What is it? One monkey stop the show.
Something like that.
Yeah. So
I hear what you're saying, but well, that's what I thought where they dropped the ball. Where they should have announced some fights.
I think they do that
Yeah, I love
pretty
that.
soon. I think once everything got secure, you'll start hearing, some of the, because in order for them to get that deal, I know that Boots has to be one of those fights because they wanted Boots to be a part of the dang situation with Oscar and Virgil. So I'm pretty sure one of those fighters in his division that Top Rank has a belt with, they got to be on that line.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Virgil was Golden Boy, right? They on the zone.
I'm talking about your boy, what's his name? Xander Zayas.
Well, what about him?
Oh yeah. Xander.
I think that's part of the deal. I think that they want to make that Xander Zayas Boots Ennis fight. And since they didn't get the Virgil fight with De La Hoya and Golden Boy, they're like, hey, look, we'll give you this TV deal, but one of these fights some of these fights gonna have to be him. We want him on our format.
No, and I get what you're saying, but like at the end of the day, like Virgil and Boots got nothing to do with Top Rank, though.
No, Virgil and Boots don't have nothing to do. But remember, they said we will extend the contract if you give us that fight, right? And that was for Virgil and Top Rank, right? I mean, not Top Rank, Golden Boy. Now,
I don't think that's true. Where'd you hear that, Tommy?
That's what they were.
You mean Xander Zayas, don't you, T Hill?
No. I mean Virgil Ortiz and Golden Boy.
Yeah.
They tried to renew the contract, and one of the things that they said that they would renew the contract with was for that fight. They wanted them to reach out to whoever, to Matchroom and make that fight with that DAZN did, so that they can put that on there. They said they wanted that fight. Now I believe they're asking
and Virgil.
Yeah, between Boots and Virgil. But now that your boy Bob needed a platform, and they said, well, look, we'll give you this deal, but we want you to put your fighter in the ring with Boots, just like they wanted Golden Boy to put their fighter that had a belt.
Golden Boy just re-signed with the DAZN or something too?
No.
Nah, they're working things out, but it was contingent upon that Boots. They said they would re-sign for sure if they could get the Boots Virgil fight, because they want to put that. They want a big fight on there. They want a big fight on their platform, and they thought that was a big fight. Now they believe that the Xander Boots fight will suffice too, and Xander has 2 belts.
Hey, Tommy, respectfully, you gotta stop listening to these YouTubers, bro.
I didn't hear that.
I ain't listening to no YouTuber.
No, because that's not true. The DAZN saying that they'll renew if they could get Boots Virgil.
Yeah.
Like I don't know where you heard that, brother.
Like a what they call it?
Because like I'm sorry, Cass, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it just sounds like he was saying. In fact, he was making a what they call it, like a possible thing or something.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like when they're still in their legal whatever, but when Oscar got his stay or whatever, and then Virgil was like counter suing or whatever, or telling the judge to please to get an injunction to try to resolve the contract issue. Like Virgil got a letter from DAZN saying, like Virgil, like literally, like we would love to have the fight on our platform, but us working with Virgil in the future or in the present has no bearing whether that fight lands on DAZN or not. Like literally, this was signed by DAZN CEO. That's why, like, like I don't know where you heard that one from, Tommy.
Interesting. We're gonna get all of them eventually, though.
Hopefully you do. Hopefully you do.
And I thought, well, I mean, like literally, the fight was already offered and signed by both parties, but Oscar killed it.
Yeah, man. So how long does Virgil have left for Oscar on his contract?
I think he got 3 fights.
Is it 3 fights, Tommy?
I think it's 3 fights, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, but what I've read in the lawsuit, because it gives part of his contract.
Yeah.
If Oscar doesn't have a network at any time, he can seek to terminate the contract.
Oh, okay.
Right then and there. So that's what the whole litigation's about. He's like, okay, you guys don't have a contract.
Yeah.
Like literally, I can You know, it says right here on my deal
If you don't have a
that
network,
if you don't have a
right?
network, I can leave.
Anytime. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what they're
Yeah, I know
currently
that.
fighting against.
Yeah. This was just talking about earlier, T. Hill, how these promoters and the managers, it's not the fighter. People blame the fighters, but it's not the fighters, man. You know,
Especially not in this case. Like
fight,
people are
man.
blaming Boots.
They
Like I don't
fighters.
understand that.
And they've been doing this since they was little children, man. Right?
Yeah, Boots and Virgil, like literally, were like
But they
we're
fighters,
ready to
man.
go. Why do you think that we walked in the ring for?
That's what we were saying before you came up, man. These guys are fighters, and they get the blame wrongfully a lot of the time, most of the time. Shit,
Yeah.
you know, it's
Exactly.
crazy.
I mean, literally, like other than Fundora, like Virgil has fought literally everybody in the division. So ducking, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's ducking.
We got Fundora and Keith Thurman. We got the Nexus, not to change the subject, but ain't that the week?
Yeah, no.
We got
No,
the
change
Nexus
it,
that you mentioned Fundora. Huh?
No, I said change it.
Is that fight? They changed it?
No, I said no. I said change the subject. I was agreeing with you.
No, you had mentioned Fundora, and that him and Keith Thurman popped into my mind.
Yeah,
That's coming
it's
up.
coming
right?
up. It's coming up. Is it this
Soon.
weekend? Next weekend?
I think it's next weekend.
I think you might be right. Let me see. I always pull this up.
But within the next 2 weeks, I know that. Yeah, I was just looking at it before I got started today.
Yeah,
It's
this
within the
weekend
next-
is a good fight too. I forgot which one. Artemis and Ammo.
Yeah, that's this weekend.
That is this weekend. Yep.
Yeah.
And then we also got a Lester Martinez.
Yeah, Martinez. That's the other one I was thinking about. Yep.
Yeah,
Martinez
versus
is
Emmanuel
it.
Alim for the interim title.
Is that his first fight since Umbrella
Yes, it is.
Martinez?
Yes,
Is it his first one since then? Okay, I
it
thought
is.
so,
It
yeah.
is.
I don't know why they
And
didn't
then
run
we
that back.
got- Yeah, for next week, like you said.
That was crazy.
Next week. Next week we got Fundura and what's it called? Fundura and Keith.
It's next weekend?
Next weekend.
All
sure.
right. We got some good stuff coming up in the next few. Zerto and Benavidez is May, right?
Yes, in May. So is
Yeah. So
Inoue
May.
and Nakatani.
Monster and Nakatani.
Yeah.
Woo.
What we got? What we got?
Nakatani.
Else we got coming up?
I saw another one.
Bunch of
Itama, that young British guy.
Itama versus Franklin, I believe.
Jermaine Franklin.
And I was going to mention too,
Jermaine
Cass, that
Franklin. And Wilder
Fundura-
and Dillian White.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying Wilder and Dillian White too coming up.
Yeah, Wilder and Dillian White for sure. The farewell fight apparently.
What was you gonna say about Fundora?
No, that he was mentioning that if he gets past Keith Thurman, that he's going to want to see. Well, he's going to try to make for the Canelo card, the Mexico versus the world or whatever they're doing in September.
Yeah.
He wants to fight Virgil
on that card.
Wow,
that would be good. That would be good there, man. Wow. Yeah.
because that would be lineal. That'd be lineal.
Yeah, and then I'm thinking about how what's his name? What's the guy name that knocked him out?
Mendoza.
Knocked Fundora out. Yeah, and Virgil is much better than him. So damn, that
Yeah. No, for sure.
That'll be an interesting fight.
It's
right
an
there.
interesting fight. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it is very. Wow.
Fundura has started using his length.
Yeah, he done got real
in
better.
the last couple of fights, but his
Yes, he
defense
has.
that's
It's
what
still
he hasn't
questionable.
corrected. Doesn't
Yeah.
move his head at all.
Against a good pressure fighter, he could be in big trouble. You
Yep.
know, like a
Facts.
Virgil.
But that's
so,
an
yeah.
interesting matchup, though.
Interesting.
I'm
Yes,
looking
it
forward
is.
to it. If
I
it
love
happens,
that.
if it happens.
I hope they can put that together.
Soon, because it's gonna happen, like you said. They're gonna happen, but you know,
Yeah, they're gonna happen. We just got to be patient. Look at Floyd and Manny and Earl and Bud. Look how long those
yeah,
fights
they all
took,
took.
man, but we
They all
got 'em,
took.
you know?
And I remember I say this a lot,
Remember?
but I haven't said it in a while. Cass, is that
Yeah.
it's very rare that fights that we truly want to see in the sport, not just like channels saying, "Oh, this is the fight we've always
Yeah.
wanted," just to pump up a fight. But
Yeah.
seldomly do we ever get a fight that the public truly wants, and it never happens. It's like rare. In my lifetime,
Very
I could
rare.
only think of like twice.
Very rare. And if you get them, it always takes a while.
Yeah, sometimes it'll take a while, but not even that. To be honest,
Yeah.
like I think it takes longer now than it did. I think Manny started a bad trend. Manny and Floyd started that bad
That's
trend.
Floyd. Yeah, man. It was
But,
like 5 years or something. And now they talking about a rematch. 10 years too late.
Yeah, right.
The first fight was 5 years. Now the rematch is 10 years. They should have had the rematch like 15 or 16, you know?
Yeah, I think Riddick Bowe and Lennox is like one in my
Yeah.
lifetime, and like Aaron Pryor and Sugar Ray Leonard. That's all I could think of.
I know, never got that one. They were signed one time. I think Leonard detached his retina.
Oh,
And Aaron Pryor said he actually was driving down the road and heard it on the radio and pulled over to the side of the road and cried.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know, lost
You
all that
heard me.
money, but other than the money, man, that would have been if he would have won it.
man.
You know, imagine it would have took him. I don't
Yeah,
think
that
he would have
would've
retired after the one loss.
Yeah. You think Sugar Ray would have won it or Pryor? That would have Pryor put that
Sugar,
pressure.
I gotta go Sugar Ray, but
Yeah.
man, I love Aaron Pryor. But the thing is,
Yeah,
is
that
like,
would have been.
I don't know.
He
I don't
gonna
know.
come
To be honest, Prime versus
Hey, that's-
Prime, like at
Yeah.
that moment,
Yeah.
I don't know, 50-50. I would say I don't know.
Because, you know, Pryor coming straight at you nonstop for 15 rounds. You know,
Yeah.
That
Yeah, no, and
dude
this
was
guy like
bomb.
literally could take a shot, he could punch, he could box, like he's awkward.
and that gas
Oh.
tank was crazy.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. And you know what I was thinking the other day, Cass? I don't know if you've ever thought
Mhm.
about these fights that could have happened, but they didn't happen because
Didn't.
the fighter lost.
Yeah.
But before Ray Leonard or Tommy Hearns became champions, they were coming up.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think the champions were that I can remember were Palomino and
Yeah, Palomino.
and
was one,
what's
yeah.
his name? The guy that Tommy Hearns beat.
Cuevas.
Cuevas and Pepino Cuevas. Like I
Yeah.
was always wonder how a fight would have went if Tommy would have lost to Pepino, and it would have been Sugar Ray versus Pepino Cuevas.
Yeah.
Like I was
Yeah.
wondering, I was trying to like picture that fight in my head because like that fight would have gone totally different than the
Yeah.
Tommy Hearns.
Pepino
fight.
had that power, man.
He
you
did.
know. Yeah. Did you ever see the
did.
fight between him and Roberto Duran?
Who Pepino?
Pepino and Roberto.
Yeah, I've seen most of Pepino Cuevas' fights.
It was going good. Then I think like the 4th round, Roberto caught him, man. You know.
Yeah, no, Duran was a bad boy, man. He was a bad boy. And
Yeah.
you know what? Also thinking
That was
about
a good
that.
fight up to that point. They was going at it.
No, it was. No, it was. I mean, till it ended. Yeah, it was. I mean,
Mhm.
Pepino Cuevas was not a
Yeah.
bad fight.
It was going at it, man. Yeah.
And you know
Yeah.
what astounded me the other day when I was thinking of like when Pepino Cuevas got knocked out and did the little like the dance against Tommy Hearns.
Yeah.
That literally like Pepino wasn't knocked out. He got up. Like literally his
Mhm.
corner had to stop it. Like I was thinking the other day, I'm like, I always thought like he
Okay.
got knocked out, right? And he just didn't get up. No,
No.
he got up and he wanted to.
Yeah.
No, he actually got up and
Yeah.
kept fighting.
Right.
Like
His
literally,
corner
like he
did it.
survived. He like survived. Like one of like literally a Tommy Hearns right
Tommy Hearns
full
right.
force and got up and
Roberto
tried to
couldn't
keep
even
going.
do that. Duran couldn't even do that.
No,
Remember?
no, Duran was out. Duran
Yeah.
was out.
Pepino was ready to keep going.
He was. No,
Yeah.
like his corner had to jump in.
Yeah,
And nobody
Yeah.
talks about that. Everybody just remembers a little chicken
No.
leg dance.
I know.
You know?
Yeah, I saw all that stuff, man.
Yeah, I know. You saw it live too. I missed it all live.
Yeah, good memories, man. All them fights. You know,
I learned
imagine
from my
you
pops,
like
you know?
who's fighting this weekend? Hearns and Pepino. You know, imagine that.
Oh, yeah.
Going
Yeah,
up
no.
to they used to have fights during the weekdays and Tuesdays, Thursdays, everything back then, man. Like the
Yeah, no,
Thriller
I
Manila
remember
was
even
on a
my day.
Monday.
Yeah,
I
my
think.
day.
Monday or
What happened,
Tuesday.
brother?
Hmm?
What was on a Monday?
I think it might have been a Tuesday, but it was a weekday.
What
Yeah.
was?
But Ali and Frazier 3.
Oh,
Thriller
okay.
Manila.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And I think Sugar Ray and Duran 2 was like on a Thursday. Because they always put on the front of the sports page, they'd have a big tail of the tape. But you know, the newspapers that play it out now, but the big fights, it'd be like a big, on the whole bottom of the sports section all over the country. It would be like a tail of the tape.
Yeah.
Both fighters' pictures there and all the way down, man. Yeah, boxing was on the front page of the sports back then.
Yeah, I remember I used to go to
Yeah,
like
every time they had a big
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was finished.
No, I was saying that I remember I used to go as a younger man. I used to go to like the bookstores and get like the British boxing,
Oh,
the
okay.
British boxing magazines.
Yeah.
Because all we had was the Ring, and like
Yeah, that was
in
it.
England they had like 4 or 5
Mm.
like different boxing
Man.
magazines. In Mexico they had like 3 or 4.
Yeah. Yeah, all we had was the Ring
All we had
magazine.
was the Ring. That's it.
Yeah. That was the Bible of boxing, though.
Yeah, no, it's a great magazine. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's just like sometimes they were like lean heavily on American fighters.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, especially after Oscar got it. Wow. Golden Boy.
Right?
And then Turkey.
They don't got it no more.
I read somewhere Turkey, when he had it, the first 10 covers were Riyadh seasoned fighters.
Yeah, probably, which makes
They was
sense.
like-
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I mean,
His
at the
own
end of the
fight.
day, like the Ring has always been that. It's just been to promote boxers,
Yeah.
not any boxer in particular, but like literally
Mm-mm.
just boxers in general.
Yeah. That's the whole thing was about boxing. Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, Cass, I don't know if you knew now, you know, they're producing new issues of it, like, you know, for you know, when Turkey first bought it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you knew it's free.
No, I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah, like to get it mailed to your house, it's not. It costs. It's not even that expensive, but you know, you can get a subscription. But
Yeah.
to get the digital copy, it's free.
It's free? Man.
Free.
Okay. I'm glad.
The same thing you can buy at newsstands. You can just get a digital copy
Yeah, yeah.
online, and you just sign up for an
Yeah.
account.
I didn't know that. I did not know that. Wow.
Free.
Ring magazine.
Yeah, man.
Wow. But okay, Pero, I gotta get ready to get out of here. I gotta go take care of some business.
Yeah, I gotta go get my
Yeah.
daughter in a little
Yeah.
bit. But thank you for
Okay.
having me, Cass. I appreciate it.
Oh, appreciate you.
You know, excellent show as always, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Okay. Take care, Pero. Pero,
You
sir.
as well, brother. Peace, man.
Okay. I didn't even know Thomas Hill was gone. Wow. Okay, that was Pero. Thomas Hill was here earlier. And we're gonna get out of here until tomorrow. But everybody have a great afternoon. Just Do Boxing is already in progress. I will catch everybody tomorrow with another exciting episode of Cass Sports the Box Story, bringing you all that boxing. I'm out.